Welcome to Stump the Idiot. This is our pro wrestling Q&A show. I am the idiot, Dave Coco from Kocosports.com or KOCOsports.net. It's where the world comes to cash, your home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Like I said, this is our Q&A show. So we'll try to get it rock and rolling right away. The big news coming out on Samoa Joe's Twitter is, and we had tons of comments everywhere about this, so we'll just bring this to the top of the list, is that Samoa Joe tweeted out, "I have decided to part ways with @Impact Wrestling. My very best to them moving forward, and my eternal thanks to the fans." So it looks like Samoa Joe is leaving TNA. TNA also acknowledged it, said wished him the best. It seemed like to be a classy split. I hope this means he's coming to New Japan. I hope AJ Styles talked him into it. I hope that this isn't the end of his career, but just the next step. It's funny because I thought CM Punk and Samoa Joe were on the same level coming out of Ring of Honor. And I remember CM Punk went to WWE's Developmental Territory, and Samoa Joe went to TNA. And I was like, oh, Samoa Joe is going to have the brighter future. Samoa Joe did the smart move. At the time, WWE was really treating indie wrestlers like shit. TNA was pushing people to the moon. They've had an undefeated X Division streak. I still say to this day, I've been watching TNA from day one. Not like you posers wearing the day one shirts. Legit day one. Ken Shamrock, baby. And the number one moment in TNA history, without a doubt, was Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle. When they got in the ring together, it was nothing but magic. And the headbutt, people went absolutely crazy. So I think that was the peak, and he was part of it. And then they mistreated him booking-wise. I don't know how they treated him in the back, but as a fan of Samoa Joe, and I used to do a radio show, so I had the privilege of talking to TNA Creative one time, or members of TNA Creative one time, and I just put over Joe like $1 million, and just talking to them, they had no faith in him at all. And you could just see the storylines and all that. So I hope that Samoa Joe comes to New Japan. I hope, a return to Ring of Honor would be nice. And just see a motivated Joe be treated the way he should be. Some people say WWE, but I don't know. Possibility. I mean, it would be nice to see him on NXT, but I'm a little bit greedy. I live in Tokyo. I'd love to see him come to New Japan. So we had tons of questions and comments about Samoa Joe. You know what? I like TNA since day one. I can't say I'm a fan because I've been pretty much like watching it, but sometimes I'm like, dude, this shit fucking sucks. But I've been there since day one. I help support it. This one is a big blow. This one, AJ Styles, not re-signing AJ Styles, Samoa Joe leaving. It's almost, I don't know, like how much can legit TNA fans, not, I hate WWE and that's why I like TNA. Do I know anything about the product? No. I mean, legit TNA fans. It's just kicking in nuts after kicking in nuts. No Daniels, no Joe, no. It's just like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? So, Samoa Joe, I pray to Terry Funk and beg you, please show up in New Japan. Just please show up in New Japan. Do the AJ Styles tour. That would be absolutely amazing. Lucha Underground. You know what? There's such a battle for second place worldwide. WWE is such a monopoly and battle for second place. Guys like Albert Del Rio, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, I wish they could work for all the second place companies. And that's why I wish like an NWA was a legit thing. Can you imagine New Japan, Ring of Honor, just sharing talent? It would be amazing. And then have that, I don't know. I know there's egos in the way and all that, but a boy can dream. A boy can dream. But yeah, wherever Samoa Joe goes, I'll definitely support him and root for him and wish him nothing but the best. I'm actually a huge fan of Samoa Joe, and I just hope that wherever he goes, he can live up to his potential. Because no matter how hard he tried or didn't try at TNA, he was never booked to his fullest potential at all. And it just makes me sick. So yeah, Samoa Joe go separate ways from TNA, and I got some questions here. Jamie, we'll just say Jamie B because it's his real name from Facebook, and some people are weird about real names on the air. Jamie B says future Bullet Club member, and this got mixed reactions across the internet. Some people are like, oh yeah, I love the original Bullet Club, and I don't. The new Bullet Club kind of gets on my nerves a little bit because to me it's just like they're not the same, and they're not as good. I mean, I love them and hate them. We'll get to that. That's a future question. But I would rather see Samoa Joe come in and go for the Never title. I would love to see Samoa Joe go in and possibly feud with AJ Styles. I think right now New Japan is making the Bullet Club so strong and booking-wise, and making the Bullet Club such a big factor of the show because they're trying to expand into other markets, that I would like to see maybe MVP. MVP tweeted something, should I stay or should I go? Come home, MVP! Come home to New Japan! But yeah, as far as Samoa Joe goes, I'd love to see some foreigners not in Bullet Club being pushed. The biggest one that I could think of, yeah, just it would be great. It would be great. Maybe Samoa Joe joins Chaos. That would be awesome, and try to go after the Never title. But even if he does join the Bullet Club, it'll help with more selling more merchandise. I know that, but you'd have more of legit badass athletes in Bullet Club instead of just, hey, I'm white, guys, and I have a guitar. Hey, my dad is in the Hall of Fame. I'm white, too. All right, you're in the Bullet Club. Like, it would be great if the Bullet Club not only lived up to the marketing hype, that they actually, dealt with great. I know Bad Luck Chair, he has to stay because he's one of the originals. He's grandfathered in. But the rest who can't wrestle, that'd be nice if we just got eliminated them. Just get rid of them. But yeah. All right, Luis Matos, indie wrestler out of Florida from Pro Wrestling. This is about fucking time. What a waste of talent. And you know what? Samoa Joe had some great moments. His title run was horrible timing. But Samoa Joe had some great moments. And not only that, but he was in one of the greatest matches ever. I argue which one was the best. But that September 11th three-way match with him, AJ, and Daniels is the one of, if not, the best TNA matches of all time, and one of the greatest moments involved Samoa Joe. So Samoa Joe, he might not be on the same level as a star in TNA as AJ Styles, but he had some great moments. But yeah, overall, his whole career, it's like they had him on the roster because people liked him. They never had him on the roster. The creative, I almost said WWE creative. Is there a difference anymore? TNA creative, I don't think ever saw it. They're like, wow, people love him. We can't really cut him, but let's just have him on the roster for the sake of having him on the roster. So hopefully wherever Samoa Joe goes, he does good. You can live comment us or tweet us at Kocosports. I will be doing some old comments that I have saved up on a notebook pad and then go to some live comments later. So Samoa Joe, please come to New Japan. That would be amazing. All right, boom, boom, boom. There you go. All right, let's rock and roll with some more things. Oh, we got some more comments here about Samoa Joe. Andy Paps on Facebook. I pray he doesn't join the Bullet Club. Yeah, it seems like anytime there's a big star that leaves, they're like, oh, don't join the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club, sadly, is becoming what people hated about TNA. People love TNA, and then they just threw in random, like, here's Kevin Nash. Of course. Why the fuck wouldn't Kevin Nash be in TNA? The Bullet Club is this generation's new TNA. It's like, someone's cut. Oh, for the love of God, please don't send them to the Bullet Club. Don't! All right. Eddie Paps also goes on, but what does this mean for the Beatdown Clan? I think the Beatdown Clan has been over. Really, what's the point? Kenny King, super talented. Really, but he's Glass Joe. I mean, he's Glass Joe from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's what he is. Let's see. You got Low Key. He's the X Division champ, but we never mentioned that. He never wrestles, and let's forget about it. You have MVP saying, should I stay or should I go on Twitter? MVP, come home to New Japan. MVP, I can see the MVP, the type of guy who listens to Stump the Idiot. No, never in a million years. But a delusional boy can dream. And then Samoa Joe walked out. And on top of that, look at the booking. 4 fucking faces that absolutely hate each other and want to fight each other easily beat them. First time. Here we go. Free television. What are the bad guys going to do? So 4, and storyline-wise and kayfabe-wise, 4 fucking dudes that hate each other, want the title, teamed up together, and beat the Bolt down. Beat the, whatever. I was Bolt Down Club fucking MVP's crew. All right, so there you go. I don't know what they're going to do with it. He goes, I guess Eric Young is the 4th member. I hope not. Eric Young is doing a good thing as a heel. I miss him as a face, but this heel run, his first heel run was absolutely horrible, but this heel run's really good. I don't want to see him join the BDC. I'd love to see him on his own heel or possibly turn face again. Or bring in Homicide. That would be nice. It would be nice to bring in Homicide. He would fit in and all that, but does it really matter? I mean, really, I know a lot of TNA fans are going to defend it, but they were, oh my God, here's a heel faction. TNA's done this before, but it's with 4 great athletes that we can get behind. All right, Kurt Angle and fucking 3 random fucking dudes in a lottery machine just beat the shit out of them. Well, that was fun while it lasted. I know. There's going to be TNA fans that say, hey, but give it time. Did you just hear what you just said? You just said the same thing WWE defenders say. And not only that, but all those that thought, well, they're doing it to make Bobby Lashley look strong, do not read the spoilers. Let your heart and that fucking vision just break away into a million pieces watching it live on Destination America. All right. We get this a lot. We get this a lot because last night we had a lot of fun. I was sick, so I decided to ask a couple of YouTubers on, and we hosted a show. And a lot of people ask, "Hey, you talk by yourself? Doesn't it get boring?" It's what I do. But they say, "How can I be a host?" And we get this a lot, and it got to the point now where it's like, well, we have to kind of bring this up. How do you get a host? Originally, it was just me and Boom Boom. Me and Boom Boom were friends, and then it was Rob, and then here and there having a friend that I know, like legit friends, not we're from. I bought tickets to watch Roderick Strong wrestle. We're friends. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No, like legit friends. Like, hey, pal, how's your day? And, yeah, we don't mind having other hosts on the show, but the problem is everyone asks to be on the show, and then if we say no, we never see that person again. And then on top of that, it's like a lot of times you have never made a video, so we don't know. So what I'm going to do is, for people that want to be on the show, we're going to do Fave 5s and try to have multiple people on, and that could be like a tryout show and all that. We do ask that you be over 18, and a huge benefit is just have something that you've made already, like content-wise. It doesn't matter how many views you have. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. Just as long as I can hear your voice and know that, hey, I can do this. Okay? And, yeah, we'll start adding more and more people on. Understand you're never going to get paid to be on Kocosports. Unless we have 1 trillion subscribers and we get tons of money coming in, we don't afford paying anyone. If you want to promote something, cool. But yeah, if you're interested, because we get a lot of feedback, and people get offended, especially younger people. We ask if you're over 18. Younger people are like, can I be on the show? We're like, no, you really can't be on the show. Fuck you, I'm never watching your show again. But I'm going to ask every 10 days to be back on your show. Okay. If that's the game we're gonna play. That's the game we're gonna play. So we'll bring back Fave 5s because they're easy shows to host and they're not exactly the most popular things. And we'll just have people try it out and go. But yeah, we could be a host on the show and all that. As far as pro wrestlers being guests, I don't mind pro wrestlers coming on, but this ain't going to be a shoot interview and all that shit. I don't want you to come on thinking you're a star. There's plenty of shows, plenty of podcasts where you can go. We're more of a, hey, talk about what you do. Let's talk about a topic type of show. All right, hold on. Give me 5 seconds. Not cool. I don't care. All right, hold on. Do that again, and you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Sorry about that. If people want to be on the show so bad, they're knocking at the door. No, my son's being a jerk and needed his Game Boy. Anyway, yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So if you want to be if you're a wrestler and all that, yeah, sure, we'll have you on. But and the thing is, I hate to bring this so soon into the Stump the Idiot. We do have a lot of questions, but especially if we get another host, we get like 50 people that want to be on the show, and a big problem with also being on the show is just time difference. I'm in Japan. It's 2:44 in the afternoon. I have no idea what time zone you're in. So there you go. But we'll open up the Fave Fives. We just ask that you make your own videos and be over 18. And there you go. Bam. All right. So let's get back into this. We got a lot of questions about this, and it's a little late to the party, but I'd bring it up. I maybe should have did a separate video. Seth Rollins penis gate. Everyone's asking if he should be fired. There's so many extremists out there. Some people say he should be fired. My kid's never seen a penis before. And some people are like, what's the big deal? I show my penis on fucking the YouTubes every day. So like it's a big deal. I don't think he should be punished. I don't think he should hold it up to him. I mean, it's his personal life. He was hacked. You know, everyone has stuff. I don't, but I don't think I do. Don't quote me on that. But you know, most people, you know, tweet and send crazy shit over the internet. Just because he was hacked and, you know, had a bad relationship and all that, I don't think he should be punished. I know WWE fined him, but I think that's kind of bullshit. Just because anyone can be hacked. And, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Cesaro was hacked a week later, but I have a conspiracy of that. I think they just hacked him to take the heat off Seth Rollins. I don't think he was actually hacked. I think that was just all, oh, look, someone else was hacked. CM Punk said it best with Kurt Angle. The new version of being a drunk douche and tweeting, and I'm paraphrasing, is I've been hacked. It's like, I've been hacked. That's it. Yeah. I wasn't being a fucking drunk douchebag. But yeah, I don't think there should be any punishment. I don't think there should be any fines. Hey, people don't live perfect lives. And that's what I hate. You know, people, this new super parent that comes out, they're like, oh, he should be punished, my kids, all that. Dude, the demographic's 38. Can we stop acting like the fucking kids matter to this company at all? The only thing WWE sees in those kids is stupid-ass parents that think the product's made for them buying T-shirts. And all that, but they're also hoping that one day that they'll be the next Attitude generation. You know, if you see WWE, it goes through cycles, and they're like, oh, fuck, we just got old fans. We got to dedicate it to trying to remake new fans. You know, and it's just crazy how many people hide behind their kids, how many companies hide behind their kids. It's just know what the product's for. You know, it's just absolutely crazy. Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you just own it, and tell people the truth, you'd be surprised. I was a shock jock morning radio show guy. I write stories that could just be described as trigger warning, horrible, horrible stories. And I won Teacher of the Year a couple years ago. People are like, but you curse on YouTube. Own it. You don't think any of your other teachers curse? You don't think the mighty John Cena doesn't want to fucking sign autographs all the time? I just think the be a star WWE hide behind the children is just pure bullshit. It's a lie. It is a lie. Just like be a star is a lie. Just like it's for the kids is a lie. It's not. And the problem is, I'm going to steal a line from Vince Russo, which is a huge problem. I'm going to quote Vince Russo. You know what? WWE is so bad right now that my arch rival, my enemy, the guy I despised more than life itself, Vince Russo, is actually starting to make sense. But he says you can't be halfway pregnant. WWE, no matter how hard they try, and they try, they'll never be kids friendly. Never. Here's an example. You have one guy punch another guy in the face. Yep, it's over. It's over. Now, granted, WWE tries not to show wrestling at all, but in replace, I'm a pretty loosey-goosey parent here. There's only three things I care about: my kid's character, their grades, and that they have activities. Those are three things I care about. After that, I'm pretty loosey-goosey. And even being a loosey-goosey parent, I don't think I would let my kids, my daughters, watch Paige run around naked. I just wouldn't. It's never going to be PG. It's never going to be what it's like. All it is they're not popular and they're trying to come up with a way to sell it. It's propaganda. Is it good propaganda? Oh, it's some of the best propaganda. If there was propaganda awards, WWE would win them all. I think they call those marketing awards. Hand them over. But the reality is, I don't think he should be punished. The dude had a fling. It's just like, what job doesn't? Go to your work. Whatever you do, you could be a teacher, you could be a police officer, you could be a firefighter, you could be a pro wrestler, you could be working at a convenience store, fast food. Someone is cheating on their loved one in that job. It's a sad fact, but and you're like, yeah, did you see the history teacher and science teacher look at each other? Oh, shit. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I think the fact that people try to be perfect instead of honest is really, really a horrible thing beyond just pro wrestling. But as far as Seth Rollins and Penisgate goes, should he be made fun of? Without a doubt. It's like, dude, that shit's just embarrassing. Should podcasters, bloggers, his workmates, his boss, should everyone bust his balls about the situation? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Bust balls. But should he be fined? No. Should he be fired? No. And not only that, but like, my kid watches WWE. Yeah, but that doesn't mean he has to go online to look up Seth Rollins' penis. And I know what's so funny? It's Triple H just said it after China. Yeah, the hypocrites. Triple H. Just say, hey, listen, my wife... just say my wife doesn't want my ex anywhere near the company. Just be honest. Just be honest. All right, so there you go. Hopefully I answered all questions about the penis gates. Mark Campbell asks, hey, Dave, love your show. Thank you. If you could book WrestleMania this year... I've done this. I put the link in a doobly-doo. I booked this year's WrestleMania before I think the Royal Rumble happened. I'm not sure, but I put a link down in the description. You can go there now and check it out. Me and Rob were planning on doing a show. Maybe me and Rob will book WrestleMania after Fastlane when we get more details. But I will try to book as if I just magically appeared in WWE Creative right now. Would you have Reigns versus Lesnar for the WWE title? Yeah, book the Intercontinental title match, Ziggler versus Bryan. Yeah, I would see doing that. That's not a bad idea. I mean, to me, Reigns versus Lesnar, just fucking, it's a shit sandwich. You fucking shit on all pro wrestling fans. Way to go, WWE. Just fucking get it over with. Just get it over with. Fucking, you know what I mean? It's bad. It's bad. Just fucking get it over with. I would actually put Ziggler versus Bryan. It would be cool for the Intercontinental title. He's saying basically because, treat it as the Intercontinental Championship is for the best work rate. WWE is who wants to represent the company. I would do it just because there's nothing. This is what pisses me off about pro wrestling. It's not pro. That's not fair. This is what pisses me off about WWE. I was a little bit sick. I do Raw reviews. I literally had to go out and meet other YouTubers and be like, yo, I can't even fucking review this shit anymore. Can you help me review this shit? It's just bad. Like, I've given up on this year's WrestleMania. There's nothing I fucking even remotely want to see. Nothing. Not a thing. I would rather watch NXT, Ring of Honor. There's nothing. There's nothing I want to see at this year's WrestleMania. So, you know what? Just get it over and done with. Fucking, yeah, what do you want? Why don't we just call it McMahon Mania? What do you want? And this is why I don't work for WWE Creative, but I would just be like that. I'd be an asshole from day one. What do you want? But the thing is, the Ziggler-Bryan thing, at least there'd be one match. I mean, we always knew WWE only gave a fuck about what Vince wants. Let's be completely honest. He won the war, so let the old man have what he wants. But at least they would throw us a bone every now and then. You know, and it was the Daniel Bryan thing special. Yeah, I guess. But you know what? I don't really want to work that hard. I don't want to watch the Royal Rumble and then be like, oh, I want to bitch and complain and fucking get people on board and ruin shows. All I ask next year, can the Royal Rumble be like? Here's the thing. Wrestling Ranted did a great video about the Civil War, and it's sports entertainment fans versus pro wrestling fans. And maybe I'm a delusional fucker here, but can't you have the best of both worlds? Can't you find someone that just doesn't magically appear and get a strong push, has throughout the year stayed healthy? I mean, I don't know. How hard can it be? How hard can it be to be like, you know what? We're going to keep the sports entertainment fans happy, and we're going to keep the pro wrestling fans happy. That's the part that bothers me. I don't think it's that fucking hard. But I think deep down inside, Vince McMahon hates wrestling fans, and he's so good at propaganda and marketing, he is convinced. Go look other YouTubers. It's okay. I'll still be here. Go look at other YouTubers. They talk about how stupid wrestling fans are, how smart they are. Because the reason why they feel smart is because they're just repeating what the number one guy says. That's not smart. You ever meet that friend who's like, I love the donkeys, or I love the elephants. And you're like, really? And then you have a conversation, like a political conversation, and they're just reading a checklist off MSNBC. They're just reading a checklist off Fox News. And you're like, you're not really smart. I got Fox News and MSNBC News. I got that shit down already. That's what most of the YouTubers are. They're like, see, I'm so smart. I agree with Vince McMahon. You're so dumb. And people flock to those channels. And that's the biggest fucking mystery to me. But I just fucking wish that fucking there could be a guy like a Stone Cold, a Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan in his prime, a Bruno. And Hulk Hogan had his ups and downs, but there was moments where everyone loved him. I never did. I was a Ric Flair guy. But still, I have to give Hulk Hogan his credit. He had his moments. Could we have a guy like that the entertainment fans are behind and the wrestling fans are behind? I mean, is it really that fucking hard to do? WWE makes it look fucking impossible. And then their answer is, well, fuck wrestling fans. And they'll always come back, even though statistics. Oh, God, why do people just fucking repeat propaganda? But yeah, all right, here we go. We're going to book WrestleMania. That was the question. I imagine if I was there. Yeah, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Fuck you. Fucking there you go. Matter of fact, I'd be a dick. I wouldn't make it the main event. That's what I'd be pushing for. Triple H versus Sting, already in there. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, most likely already in there. I mean, some people are saying Bray Wyatt is going to be going against someone else, and Undertaker will just make an appearance and challenge Sting a year out. That would be interesting, but I don't really, these matches are kind of locked in. I'm not a big fan of this. John Cena versus Rusev. Someone's been saying that for a couple months. If you watch every day, I start to sound smart. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins looks like it's going to be a match. Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler, but people are also talking about Sheamus getting involved. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. They better have an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. See, that's the problem. People was like, oh, book WrestleMania. It's already booked. Divas title, tag team title match. I would definitely add the NXT match that they're talking about. Have the NXT match on there. That would be cool. I guess the biggest one is where Daniel Bryan goes, where Seth Rollins goes. But to me, it's probably going to be Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. And then you got Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler. So, I mean, the card is pretty much packed. It's just a couple question marks on the card. And the big question mark is where Daniel Bryan's going. I don't see, like, this is my thing. If I was booking WrestleMania, and the big question mark would be Daniel Bryan, obviously. Seth Rollins would be a big question mark too. Ziggler. Those are the guys that have question mark. But the biggest one is Daniel Bryan. I would go in and be like, is Daniel Bryan winning the whole fucking thing? That's it. I would just be like, oh, we don't know. Fuck you, Vince. Do you fucking know? Is Daniel Bryan winning the whole thing? Are we going to just repeat last year's shit? And he's like, well, we'll see. No, fuck you, Vince. This is why I don't work for WWE Creative. I've already said fuck you, Vince, like 3 times because you know he's just going to be like, give it time. We'll see. No. That's not storytelling. That's throwing poop on the wall and hoping the poop tastes good for the fucking poop eaters. No. Is Daniel Bryan gonna win the fucking title? And then I would just stare at him. And after he fired me, I would still be staring at him. And then if he said, yes, he's going to win the title, I'm like, all right, good for you. Next year, don't fuck up the Royal Rumble. If he's not, then I'd say he has to lose at Fastlane. Don't do this 3-way bullshit. Don't be like, well, Daniel Bryan's going to be the main. No, fuck you. Fuck you. If you're going to fuck us in the ass, let's get it over with. Over and done with, all right? I don't fucking give us hope. Stop dick teasing us. Just, all right, there you go. You have your fucking match. I'm fucking arguing not to even put that fucking piece of shit in there. Have Seth Rollins run in at the fucking end. There you go. Problem solved. Problem staying solved. And then Daniel Bryan, I would be like, he has to go against Dolph Ziggler because there has to be something that pro wrestling fans can actually fucking enjoy on this card. And not only that, but I swear to you, Vince, I don't know why I'm acting like I'm talking to Vince, but I'm booking this shit. I swear to you, Vince, if that's not at least a 25-minute match, I'm going to piss on your leg. They have to give something to the wrestling fans. That's it. That's how I would fucking pitch WrestleMania. And then they'd be like, all right, it was nice knowing you as I'm packing up my stuff and leaving Connecticut. So pretty much right now, that's how I'd book it. If I had more freedom, I already did a show about that. Overall, WrestleMania would be pretty great, but we'll see. All right, Mark Campbell, I hope that answered your question. I know Rob, from one of our hosts on Internet Infantry, wants to do a special show where he would just book WrestleMania. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that down the line. All right, let's see any live comments, then we'll go some more. Boom, boom, boom. Bullet Club Biggs is going to watch. Thank you, Bullet Club Biggs. Bam. Andy Papp says, who would have replaced him in the BDC, Eric Young or bring in somebody new? Yeah, if you have the BDC, I'd bring in someone new. I think Eric Young kind of has to separate himself from them. I don't know. Punky says, this is on the Kocosports.net Internet Infantry chat. Please go check it out. Appreciate it. Punky's on there, says, let him fight just one. Only one match in WWE just to have it under his belt. Against anyone besides Cena. I think Russo vs. Joe would be badass. Oh, Samoa Joe going to WWE. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Samoa Joe has wrestled in WWE before. I think it was one of those C shows, like Velocity or something, but he's been there. I admit my show sucks, but fuck it, it's mine. LOL. Funky, don't worry. Just have fun with it, man. I don't know, like, there's one thing that YouTube and Google has done that's absolutely amazing. It really has. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you for the 7 thumbs ups. One thing that Google and YouTube has done is they gave everyone an opportunity to make a little bit of money. Now, is the copyright and flagging thing ridiculous? Yes, without a doubt. But they made a thing where you can make a little bit of money. I don't even pay attention to the ads on this. I think it just collects an account somewhere. I don't even know how much money I made. And it's not even to my bank account. I think it's still in Google. So one day Google might steal all my fucking YouTube money. But one thing that was cool is that it made an opportunity. There's people out there that make a full-time living on YouTube. And that's great. The one bad thing that YouTube did, though, is now no one hosts shows. No one. Remember, there used to be a community in YouTube. And there still is a little bit, but it's still not the same. It's still not the same. Nowadays, it's like, you know, back in the day, hey, you want to work together? All right, cool. You knew that you had something in common. Now that there's just a little bit of money and subscribers and all that, you know, like, hey, you want to work together? And the first thing someone does is look at your subscriber count. The first thing they, you know, it's, I don't know. But yeah, just do it. Have fun with it, man. It's fun. Punky, you can keep up your show, brother. Larry Hammer says, can't wait to see Joe in ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling, PWG, any place but the E. Larry Hammer, I think I could agree on that. I mean, it would be cool to see Samoa Joe in NXT, but I'm afraid he's not going to get very far. Shundell Hall says, Dave, make a list of your favorite matches. All right, I'll do that. Of all time? Oh, this is tough. Man, I don't know. I don't know. Just because I have a bad memory. I don't know if these are my favorites, but these are the ones that stick out. And it's one of those things. It's also memories, you know. So like, let me think. Oh, this year's match, my favorite was Nakamura versus Ishii, just because I was there live at Wrestle Kingdom 9 with my son. Some of my favorite matches in WWE, I liked Rick and Dragon Steamboat, Macho Man, of course. I'm trying to think. One of my favorites that's kind of a sleeper, and it's just because I didn't expect it to be good, but it was one of my favorites of all time, Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon. I really, really, really enjoy that match. As far as at WWE, what else? I'm trying to think. I'm really bad at this. I'll have to make this a separate video, maybe a Fave 5, and actually write it down and stuff. TNA, the Six Sides of Steel, where Elix Skipper walked across, was amazing. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, I think is one of the best matches of TNA history. I really enjoyed that one. I'm trying to think what else. Ric Flair's retirement match, I was there live for that. One that was no one probably ever saw. That is one of my favorites. It was in front of nobody. It was Roderick Strong and Cedric Strong, and this is when they were really, really young. They were wrestling something called the WrestlePlex. It was an IPW thing, and they went against Scoot Andrews and Kevin Sullivan. And these four wrestlers are absolutely amazing. Most people only know about Roderick Strong, but Cedric Strong was really good. Scoot Andrews is one of my favorite indie wrestlers of all time, and it just breaks my heart that most of the world never got to see him. And Mike Sullivan, who's now a firefighter, was an amazing wrestler. And it was a cage match, and it was bad weather in Florida, and no one came. I mean, it was a small building to begin with, but no one came. And everyone wanted Scoot Andrews' team to win, and everyone hated the Strong Brothers. And it was a cage match. And I don't know how good it was on TV. I don't know if you could find it on DVD, but it was just the fucking atmosphere. These four men in front of barely anybody beat the fucking living shit out of each other. And I just remember, man, this is special, dude. I wish more people saw this. And it was such a fucking beatdown. Scoot Andrews and Sullivan, without saying a word, beat the living shit out of a young Roderick Strong and Cedric Strong. So bad that they did a heel face turn with no words. They went, Scoot Andrews, yeah, kick his ass. And Scoot Andrews and Sullivan beat the fuck out of the Strong Brothers so bad that at the end, people were legit booing Scoot Andrews and Sullivan and just wanted the Strong Brothers to defend himself. It was such a weird atmosphere, but it was such a great experience. But yeah, as far as my favorite matches go, there's probably so many I forgot. I liked Hashimoto versus Carino at the NWA thing. I just thought that was really good. That really worked a lot of people there. If the NWA president just kept his fucking mouth shut, everyone in that goddamn arena would have thought it was real. Hashimoto, I really liked his match. I don't know who his opponent was, but ECW, I loved ECW because if it wasn't for ECW, I wouldn't have been a pro wrestling fan. But ECW was kind of out of business, and WWE was doing the invasion angle, and it's good compared to today's standards, but back then it was really bad. It's weird, because everyone's like, the invasion sucked so much balls. Pop in an invasion DVD now. It is so much better than today's product. But we were spoiled with the, Attitude Era, the golden age of wrestling. And I just remember I was about to give up. I was like, why the fuck do I even watch this pro wrestling? My friend, he brought me to Japan, into this small, dungy arena. And he's like, no, just watch this. And I was like, dude, I've seen Japanese pro wrestling. And I saw Hashimoto and just beat the fucking living piss out of this one guy. And I was just like, you know what? I like this pro wrestling stuff. Franielli says, I don't watch TNA often, but I don't like the way they have been treating the originals. Oh, they've been treating the originals horrible, Franielli. I agree. I think it's disrespectful what they've done to them. Is there a TNA original left? Yeah. Well, it depends what you consider to be an original. Like Show 1, probably not. But what's his name? Damn it. America's Most Wanted, Beer Money. James Storm. James Storm has been there a very, very long time. So I guess he would be. Abyss has been there a long time. I would consider him an original. I don't know. Let's go to TNA's roster. But I would say Abyss and James Storm. Let's see. Roster. And they're the tag team champions. I didn't know that. I did know, but I didn't. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Eric Young's been there a long time. I guess you could kind of call him an original. Jeremy Borash. Holy shit. That's as original as it gets. And yeah, I'm looking. I think that's the only one that I noticed. Those are, yeah. Holy shit. TNA's roster looks fucking completely weird. Oh, well. Hopefully they survive. All right, so, boop, there you go. Baby Macaroni was letting out the war cry to be heard. LOL, he sounds adorable, Dave. Yeah, Baby Macaroni. I miss Christopher Daniels. That dude was really talented. Yeah, he still wrestles the Ring of Honor. They do from indie to indie. But Christopher Daniels is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I really love Christopher Daniels and everything he's done. He's obviously lost a step, let's be honest, but he's still absolutely amazing. It's just, that's the problem with TNA. You get, especially if you've been watching for a long time, you get behind these guys and you're like, these are the guys that should be pushed. And they're like, you know what? You think they should be pushed? We'll fire them. I never thought Daniels, AJ, or Joe would ever be out of TNA. It's just a sad fucking place. It's a sad, sad fucking place. Mixer Delmore says, I don't think so, friendly. Oh, wait, James Storm is. Next thing we know, he'll be gone too. One thing, fact, Angle is going into Hall of Fame before Jarrett or AJ is a spit in the face to real TNA fans, and I'm not claiming to be one. Oh, without a doubt. TNA's Hall of Fame. Everyone shits on WWE's Hall of Fame, and people. I'll get to Hall of Fame questions later, so there's a Hall of Fame coming at the end. But people get really pissed off at WWE Hall of Fame. TNA's Hall of Fame is a million times worse than WWE's. A million times worse. Until Jeff Jarrett gets in the Hall of Fame, it's not a fucking Hall of Fame. It's a fucking joke. Love him or hate him. There's no way. Like, if you come up to me and be like, before there was a TNA Hall of Fame, if there's a TNA Hall of Fame, Jeff Jarrett. Without a fucking doubt, you can hate the guy, but there is no TNA with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett fucking had that long-ass title reign, and he had the fucking respectability to WWE, to wrestling fans, to at least be a fucking heel. But yeah, there you have it. All right, let's go back to some old ones. Name 5 wrestlers, 3 male, 2 females, in America who would survive in New Japan. Let's see. Brock Lesnar, obviously, would just be huge because the MMA background and stuff. Brock Lesnar's so much money in New Japan, but he's burnt so many bridges over there. I'm trying to think. Dolph Ziggler, I think, could hold his own. EC3, surprisingly, is really popular. MVP, I'm trying to think. Obviously, AJ Styles. But yeah, let's see. And 2 females. Gail Kim. I'm surprised Gail Kim didn't make an appearance at Bound for Glory. And in WWE, Charlotte. I think Charlotte's one of the best. So there you go. There. Obviously Daniel Bryan. Just go to yourself. Do they have any MMA experience? If they have any MMA experience, people are going to flock to that. And if they can actually really wrestle, they'll flock to that. That's what it's really about. But yeah, for women, I'd say Gail Kim and Charlotte. Awesome Kong had one hell of a career, but she's lost a step. She's always welcome back. People absolutely love her. But yeah, I think that's what I think would survive. The best way to answer that still will plays is, can they legit wrestle? Yes, then they have a chance. So there you go. All right, boom, boom, boom. And not only that, but also, like, in defense of people that can't wrestle, people would step up their game. You know, like, even, I hate to say this, even John Cena, when he has house shows in Japan, he steps up his game. Hulk Hogan stepped up his game. And then it's like, well, maybe there's a lot of, like, Tyson Tomko, A-Train, Umaga. It breaks my heart that people don't think Umaga's a good wrestler. I mean, as Jamal in All Japan, he was absolutely amazing. You know, that's what sucks about WWE. If they don't come from the indies and they're in a WWE system, you may never know if they can wrestle or not. So, yeah, it would be a great test. Lennox Wooderson asks, what was the better show, NXT Rival or New Japan Beginnings? That's a tough call. If I had to rank them, I'd say number one, New Japan. And the funny thing is, they didn't have Bullet Club be so dominant. But the second New Beginning show I thought was the best. Then I'd probably go NXT Rival. Then I'd go New Japan Okada if I had to rank it 1, 2, 3. But NXT Rival was pretty damn good as far as in-ring product. It wasn't perfect. The New Japan shows were pretty good. It depends on what you love Bullet Club. I mean, if you really love Bullet Club, obviously you're going to say the Okada show. But if you love New Japan and pro wrestling, the second show of the tour was the better one. And I did a review on both, so you can check it out on Kocosports. .net. All right. So, yeah, if I had to rank them, I enjoyed all three. I enjoyed all three more than any WWE pay-per-view or any WWE. Should Okada have taken Kenta's spot? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Okada was more fit for the WWE. Okada is younger. A lot of people don't know this. Kenta wasn't the first one they went after. WWE wanted Okada bad. That was the athlete they went after. Okada took less pay to stay in New Japan. And I love Okada. I love New Japan. I think it was a huge mistake. I think Okada, with his style of wrestling and Okada's being a lot younger and a lot more flamboyant. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm gonna go with it. I think Okada would have been a bigger star in WWE than Kenta, but he turned it down. And what did he turn it down to? Tanahashi beating him, and then Tanahashi turning right around and losing to AJ Styles. I think Okada made a huge mistake, and this is coming from a huge Okada fan, a huge WWE main product hater. And I love Kenta too, but yeah, I think Okada would have been the better position for that. And I think it was a mistake. Now, granted, we don't know where the storylines are going, but as of right now, I mean, how long, this is a question I have for you, Internet Infantry, especially if you're like, oh, give it time. There's so many podcasts say give it time, and then when it never happens the way they wanted to, they never come on and say they were wrong. I fucking despise that about YouTube. If you say give it time or I think this is going to happen, just man up and tell your audience you were wrong. I do it. You should do it. But a lot of people say, oh, give it time, and they never go back to it if it fails. Here's my question, an honest question here. How much do you give a storyline time before you consider a complete failure? Because let me tell you, if Okada wins at Wrestle Kingdom 10, that's long-term book. No, it's not. That's bad timing. That's making up for your goddamn mistakes. That's what that is. So my question to you is, how long? How long? Tanahashi looks fucking stupid. AJ Styles looks stupid. Okada looks stupid. The only thing that's saving New Japan booking right now is the athletes are amazing. But outside of their athletes being amazing, just storyline-wise, it's stupid. And the New Japan guys, WWE guys, when you attack their creative and they want to defend it, like, give it time. Well, here's my question. If you say give it time and you're wrong, do you have the balls to come back on and say you're wrong? Most YouTubers don't. Second thing is, if you say give it time, how long? Rob, I love Rob, and he gets under my skin. But Rob's always like, CM Punk's going to return. CM Punk's going to return. He's doing it out of A, super fan hope, and B, pure sarcasm. But if CM Punk returns 20 years from now to WWE, do you say that was a work? So next time one of your beloved YouTubers say, oh, give it time, ask him how much. Ask him. Because I noticed something. they're always like, give it time, it's going to play out. Give it time, it's going to work. And then the story doesn't connect, and then something good happens, and they're like, see, they just worked you. And I'm like, that's not how storytelling is done. When do you give it time? All these people that are like, and I'm using CM Punk because it's the most extremist one, but CM Punk's like, oh, he's going to return, it's all the work. Well, yeah, if he returns 37 years from now to induct Colt Cabana into the WWE Hall of Fame, I don't think that counts as a fucking work. I don't know. I just hate people like, give it time. All right, we'll give it time. But how? So my question today is, if you are a person that says give it time, or if you listen to other podcasters, how dare you? I'm just kidding. And they say give it time. When does it officially count? Because here you go. You ready? The world is going to end. Give it time. I want that to be in the history books. Because when the world officially ends, I want to be the smartest fucking person ever. The world is going to end. Do you have a date on that? No. But it's definitely going to end eventually. How? I don't really know. But you got to trust. You got to trust Mother Nature on this one. Just give it time. Give it time. Moving on. If Lucha Underground and New Japan have a crossover event, what matches would you like to see? Oh, son of a gun. That's a great question. Thank you. I think these were all from the same guy. I deleted who they were from, but I think they're all from the same guy. I apologize for deleting your name. Man, Lucha Underground. Well, Prince Puma versus anyone. Prince Puma, Tanahashi, champion versus, well, Tanahashi don't even have a fucking title anymore. What the fuck am I fucking talking about? Tanahashi versus Okada. Dude, 10 yards on a penalty. Podcaster, fucking mixing up names. Doesn't make any sense. Punch drunk. Repeat question. All right. Lucha Underground and New Japan guys, it would be cool to see Prince Puma go against Tanahashi or Okada. I would really like that. So I think that right there would be my matchups. Aerostar versus anybody would be great. Phoenix. There'd be some Nakamura. Get Nakamura in there. So there's a lot of great matchups, actually. The one that the dream match, and I want to expand this question, the dream match I would like to see would be Dragon Kid from a healthy Dragon Kid from Dragon Gate versus Aerostar. That right there. I would just throw my money at the fucking screen. Just take all my money. That shit, that match, just, there'd be just no gravity. The gravity would not exist. Ewok! Famous. He put this on Kocosports Internet Infantry chat. He says, David Boy, I saw a story on Kocosports and made me think of this question. Bring it on. Not only that, Ewok, give yourself plus 10. You asked the question in Internet Infantry chat. You mentioned Kocosports.net, and you have a question. You know what? I like it. I like where this is going. What would be easier? Oh, great. A wrestler being good in MMA or a person being good as a wrestler? In my mind, there's pros and cons to both. I think you're absolutely right. It depends on how big of a name you are. Really, the big question for MMA to me is, what gym do you go to? But above what gym you go to, do you have any amateur wrestling? People all the time would be like, well, who do you think would do good in MMA that's also a pro wrestler? I'm just like, give me a list of amateur wrestlers. I think amateur wrestling is the best background for both. I would say, if you have an amateur background, it's easier to make that transition to MMA than having any other backgrounds. But being a pro wrestler into MMA, I think, would probably be a lot. I don't know. It's different. It's really different. It depends if you're athletic, if you're clean. An MMA person being good at wrestling. Well, the thing is, if you come to Japan, you don't even have to be good at wrestling. You just be an MMA guy. They're going to watch you. But that's just the Japan culture. This is a really tough question. I would say an MMA person being good at wrestling. You know what? I don't know. I don't know. This is a tough question. You've stumped the idiot. Congratulations, Ewok. You have stumped the idiot. I'm going, if you have an amateur wrestling background, it's easier to go into MMA than an MMA person being good at pro wrestling. Because pro wrestling, especially American style, I mean, all right. I'm going to say MMA person wrestling is crazy easy in Japan. Crazy easy in Japan. Done and done. Congratulations. Your career begins. But as far as American pro wrestling, it all depends on your personality. Like Chael Sonnen, he could do it easily. Yeah, so it really just depends on your personality. I'm going to say MMA person being good at wrestling is easier because if you have a good personality, you can go to WWE, and if you don't have a good personality, you can easily go into pro wrestling. So there, MMA person being good at wrestling is easier just because you'll have jobs. Where MMA pro wrestler going to MMA, it depends on your background. It really depends how much steroids you use. Not that any of our beloved WWE supermodels would use steroids. And also depends if you have a background in amateur wrestling and stuff. I mean, that's one thing that worries me about CM Punk is he does good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but and I'm going off that comment. I'm going off what his trainers and people that have trained with him said. But I don't know. It's very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, the more I think about it, MMA person becoming a good wrestler is easier just because you have the Japan option. All right. Andy Paps from Facebook. Which U.S. company used their women's division the best? Are we counting? Are we counting Shimmer and Shine and all those types? Obviously Shimmer, but if we're not counting that, I would probably say Ring of Honor at one time had something special going on, but they just didn't bother sticking with it, in my opinion. NXT does a really good job. I don't know. It's a good question. I would say Lucha Underground, but that is more booking wise. Wrestling wise, I would say NXT. All right, okay, I'm going to give you an answer. It's going to be a bullshit answer. It's going to be an idiot answer. Booking wise, Lucha Underground. Wrestling wise, NXT. And TNA has a little bit of a mix. TNA has really good women's matches, but they also do some really horrible things with their women. So if they stop doing horrible things, I think TNA would rank up there a lot higher. There could be an argument made about TNA, but they have to stop messing it up. All right. Does New Japan and Noah have a talent exchange? All of Japan usually has a talent exchange. There are very big, strong rumors that the same company that owns New Japan bought Noah. Noah was almost bankrupt after, two really tragic deaths. They were almost bankrupt. They put the title and the company on the shoulders of Kenta, and Kenta carried Noah. And then Noah moved to WWE, NXT, and Noah panicked, and they're like, "Well, really, we're a one-man company." And granted, this is me putting it in my own words. And they panicked, and they were almost going bankrupt. And there's rumors that the company that owns New Japan now also owns Noah. Once again, it's just rumors. But in Japan, wrestling companies work together pretty much. As long as you ain't a bunch of disrespectful cunts like TNA, most people will work together with you. And hopefully New Japan and TNA put that wood or, put those problems in the past. But yeah, so yeah, they a lot of companies exchange talent. You'll see it. It's really cool. That's one thing I love about being in Japan. All right, do you hear about Rhino and Brian Kendrick being at NXT last night? And this question's a bit outdated. I should have dropped the last night. Hold on, little edit to that question. Bam! Andy Paps, I answer your questions as fast as I can. You hear about Rhino and Brian Kendrick being at NXT last week? Oh yes, Andy Paps, I answer your questions right away. Yeah, I'm excited about this. It's cool because then there's WWE legends that can help. That's not fair. That's timeout. Overuse the word legends on the play. Please repeat statement. WWE veterans, and they can get more experience. I'm a really big fan of Rhino. I loved when he won the TNA title. I enjoy Rhino. I'm a huge ECW fan, so I'm glad. Kendrick's is weird. I thought when Kendricks was in WWE the first time, like, oh, this motherfucker can wrestle. WWE's just holding him back. I can't wait because, he used to be Spanky. And then he went to TNA. And I was like, oh, did you forget how to wrestle? And then I haven't seen a good match from him in forever. So I'd love to see what Kendricks can do. And hopefully, and it would be cool to see these guys that yet are not retired, yet still can help the younger talent. So it would be cool. I know a lot of TNA fans are busted WWE fans. Like when Rhino came to TNA, you fucking mocked him, and I wasn't part of that. I actually liked it. One time the TNA got into a jam during the weekly pay-per-views, and Rhino had to win the title, and it was a really enjoyable. It was enjoyable. It wasn't a good match, but it was enjoyable. It was a little over the top TNA. And it was when Jeff Jarrett was completely out of control, but I enjoyed it. If you go back and watch it, it might not be that good now. You'd be like, this is why TNA sucked back then. But as a guy that watched every week, I was like, I enjoy this. Andy Paps also said, so if they did do the 4 Horsewomen faction, who would be it? Charlotte, in a dream world, Charlotte, Kana, Gail Kim, and Ronda Rousey. If we're in a dream world, in reality, I don't know. I don't know. It would be interesting. Matter of fact, it would be cool to have a 4 Horsewomen gimmick come up. How about this? Hear me out. I'm putting some thought into this. The 4 women that wrestled at NXT, that put on one hell of a match. What if they were the 4 Horsewomen and they just came up to NXT just talking shit as Ric Flair is their mouthpiece? That would be amazing. And have 4 different styles. You have 4 different characters. They all have a purpose. That would be pretty cool. That would be good wrestling on WWE again. Malik from the Kocosports.net chat. So go to Kocosports.net. You can check it out. What do you think about the stupid phrase, oh, man, this is going to be a long answer. I've been hearing it a lot lately. It's the fans don't know what they want, which makes no sense to me. Even if the fans don't know what they want, the WWE shouldn't give it to them, considering Daniel Bryan's popularity. I hate the anti-smark. Ha ha ha, you talked about pro wrestling on the internet logic. Yeah, we have a big problem with this, and it's propaganda. WWE has convinced everyone, if you agree with them, they're smart because they make the most money. And if you disagree, you're crazy and don't know shit. As a matter of fact, nowadays, the IWC might have started as something. It might have been a bunch of YouTubers and all that. But you know what the IWC is now? It's a make-believe terrorist group. Go on your Facebook timeline if you have wrestling fans. They'll be like, I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I don't care what the IWC says. And then you hear shit like, oh, the IWC is turning on Daniel Bryan. When? When did that happen? Was there a memo? Was there a Facebook group invite I didn't know about? Basically, it's just people want to be the smartest guy in the room. And if you're stupid, how do you become the smartest guy in the room? Convince yourself you are the smartest guy in the room and everyone else is stupid. Now, I don't mean to do this. I'm not saying your friends are stupid, but go on your Facebook timeline. How many people on your Facebook timeline act like they're the smartest guy in the room? And not only do they make a statement, this is when you know you're not confident with your statement. You have to throw an insult afterwards. Like example, a confident person on social media. I love peanut butter and jelly. There, simple. It's to the point. That man walks with some confidence. Look at that son of a bitch post on Facebook with that confidence. How you know someone doesn't have confidence and needs to fucking, it's the I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I don't give a fuck what the IWC says. Fuck you. Don't fucking be my friend on Facebook. It's you don't have confidence in what you believe in. You have to knock someone else. Don't knock someone else. Say what you feel. But a lot of those people that do shit like that, they don't have an opinion of their own. They, once again, just read off WWE propaganda. It makes the most money. You know, well, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? With even this debate, you know? It's just a sad world we live in. I said this before. If you're a sports fan and you want your favorite team to win, you're a fan. If you're a book lover and you want your favorite author to win an award, or you want your favorite author to do another book in a series, you're a fan. If you watch a TV show and you want that TV show to win an award, you're a fan. You want your favorite wrestler to win your title? You fucking mark. You don't know what it's like. You IWC. How much money have you made in wrestling? Me personally, none. Yeah, that's what it is, and it makes you feel special. The same thing with indie wrestlers. We had to deal with this all the time. I always had in my locker room, like, yeah. And when I ran a locker room, this is what I said: if you make fun of wrestling fans, you do not work here. We're here to entertain wrestling fans. We're here to get butts in seats. If you go out there and be like, you're a fucking idiot wrestling fan, they break the fourth wall, which a lot of people don't want. A lot of people, when they buy a ticket, they don't want to read the spoilers. They don't. But the problem is, you want to be excited. You want to have fun. You want to live in the moment. You want to believe the magic's real. And if a wrestler who's too cool, he's mad because some little kid said something mean to him on Twitter, or us internet nerds are like, hey, fuck you, they'll come out and just fucking belittle the audience, where 90% of them don't give a shit about you, and the other half to be like, you're the heel, boo, and you're like, you're just a stupid fucking pro wrestling fan. Well, then the thing is, it comes crashing down. You're like, you know what, you're right. What the fuck am I doing with my life? I'm going home. It's just fucking stupid. It's stupid. It's people are not confident, and they have to they're not confident in their own opinions and beliefs. They have to repeat stuff, and deep down inside, they're not pro wrestling fans. They just like to make fun of pro wrestling fans. How many Facebook pages do you belong to that really, really don't have any wrestling fans? Legit pro wrestling fans that all they do is make fun of pro wrestling fans. Like, it's a stick. It's a stick. Go watch YouTubers. Go watch, and go out there and see how many. They're like, oh, I fucking work at fucking the local fucking convenience store, and I'm a fucking genius because I'm on YouTube, and you're a fucking idiot. You fucking moron. And that's like 90% of their skits. Like, I always thought it would be funny, see if I'd get more subscribers if after I said something, I called my audience fucking idiots. Because that's what's out there, and I don't fucking get it. And yeah, the fans don't know what they want is just an excuse. It's propaganda. All right, let me see. Rey Mysterio comes out. They're booing the shit out of it, chanting yes, and Daniel Bryan. I just don't know what those fans want. I mean, I don't know. I can't fucking figure it out. I mean, let me ask someone from Harvard. Harvard, the Royal Rumble happened. The last man came out. It wasn't Daniel Bryan. They're chanting yes, booing, wanting a refund. I just can't figure it out. I mean, wrestling fans, they don't know what they want. I can't figure it out. How? Let me get back to you on this one. All right. Oh, man. I don't fucking get it. It's know what it is? Everyone wants to be smart. No one wants to be the idiot. No one wants to learn. That's why we call it Stump the Idiot. No one wants to say, hey, I was wrong. Everyone wants to be a blowhard. That fucking let me example. Let me answer this question as a Facebook page or any other YouTuber. Ready? Oh, well, why don't fans don't know what they want? Because they don't know what they want. They're just fucking sheep, and they agree, and you're fucking idiots. You don't fucking. I don't know. I think there should be an app. I think maybe we should make a Kocosports.com app where we just every statement we just pause and press a button, and it's just calling you an idiot. Maybe that will do better. I don't know. It's a possibility. But yeah, that's all it is. It's the same thing. Like, you ever go to someone and they're like, I'm into politics. I'm like, wow, me too. And it's literally just talking to MSNBC. You're like, no, you're not into politics. You're into repeating something. You're a goddamn cheerleader. You're passing propaganda. You're not. You don't know shit. Ha-ha! I did it! I did it so naturally. It felt good not telling someone they don't know shit. All right, let's see. Let's go across this. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. I saw SmackDown, got bored because the show was basically tag team turmoil, then Raw was boring too, but Fastlane looks decent. A lot of people put the tag team turmoil match over. Bring me in for Q&A if you need some help. All right, let's see. All right, you can come in. Let's see. All right, so let's see. We might be adding a guest soon. Let me see where you are. Can I send you a message? Dun, 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 dun. All right, no. Message. All right, boom, boom. All right, sending message. There you go. We might have another host. I'm not sure how long ago we got that. All right, on Facebook, people said, who would have replaced him in BDC? Oh, weird. Rude, Eric Young, 2004-ish. Oh, yeah, Bobby Roode is, I would consider Bobby Roode a bit of a TNA original. Dream match, Okada versus Kenta. Yeah, that would be awesome. It might have happened already. I got a bad memory. To the Google we go. Okada versus Kenta. It might have happened when they were a lot younger. I don't know. Dave, would you tell me if I was one of those people? Sure, I'll tell you. And I'm sure everyone is that eventually. I mean, it's a little hard sometimes not to be a dick, but at the same time, when 90% of your show is telling your audience they're stupid, or the fake terrorist group is stupid, I don't understand. Punky sent me a picture of Drago that says, "I must break you." All right, well, I'm just going to give you a little heart. I don't know exactly where that goes, but I do love me some Drago. All right, and let's go to some live YouTube comments. Boom, boom, boom. 10 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. The streak is over. The 1 thumbs down. What's up? We try. What the fuck, brother? Let's see. Brian Ruiz. If Joe were to go to ROH, he could right away feud with Jay or Lethal. That's true, which would be an amazing program. If he goes to New Japan, he can join Bullet Club, and somewhat it would be a rebuilds since Jarrett joined the group. Oh, okay, so give it some more credibility. And group being done stupid things. But with Joe, he brings the badass nature in the group. Yeah, you know what? Thank you for the comment, Brian Ruiz. And sorry I started stuttering there. I'm a bit punch drunk. But yeah, I think Samoa Joe would add some credibility back to Bullet Club. It's just Bullet Club has to do something, because winning titles and adding every gaijin ever just ain't doing it anymore. He also says Kocosports is the real shit for pro wrestling fans. Hey, appreciate the kind words. Larry Hammer, totally agree. Coco minus a tag match of Vince and Kevin Dunn versus Ziggler and Sandow and a Hell in a Cell. A match I won't be watching. I'll be watching because I do review shows. I watch so you don't have to, but going into this WrestleMania, I'm very underwhelmed. And maybe they have to throw on one match that's worthy. An NXT match would be worthy. I'm trying to think. Ziggler and Daniel Bryan with time to steal it would be worthy. Let's see. Don't worry, Okada will get his victory. Brian Ruiz. I hope so. Thank you. Brian Ruiz, that's what I need. As an Okada fanboy, I needed that. New Japan is building the Okada redemption story with him taking down Bullet Club and Tanahashi. I was so pissed over the ending of Wrestle Kingdom Line. Me too, Brian Ruiz. Me too. Like, I don't know. I love New Japan, but man, did they break my heart. Especially the thing that Tanahashi said to Okada. Yeah, this is just me, Mr. Ruiz. I honestly think that wasn't part of the script. I don't know how it came across on the pay-per-view. That's not fair. I did watch the pay-per-view, but way later. I don't think it came across as clear as being there live. Being there live, 90% of the audience was chanting Okada, everyone, and I think he got jealous. I think he's been the face of the company, busted his ass. He's like, oh, I'm just going to throw an insult out there. Because storyline-wise, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't go with his character. So I honestly think Tanahashi was shocked by the reaction and just threw in a cheap shot at him. I think we got a co-host here. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, what's going on? You there? Oh, no, not this again. All right, I think we have a co-host. All right. Yeah, but as far as that, I just think it wasn't part of the storyline. It doesn't go with his character. It doesn't go into the moment. And the TV crew did a really good job of not showing angry. But I was there, and everyone was cheering Okada. As soon as Okada got to the back, in the middle of Tanahashi's speech, the building was empty. It was gone. You know, they shot towards the ringside. They did a really good job on television showing it. All right. T-Shawn, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you getting into the show is like a real challenge. You're here, you're not here.
Well, they be hating on me. They hating on me, man. It's IWC. They out there. They waiting on me.
Yes.
They gonna sabotage this.
Yeah, I don't live in America, but just from what I hear, like people, an ongoing joke is thanks Obama. Like even if they're pro or anti-Obama, just like you just blame stuff on Obama for no reason, it is like an ongoing joke. I think in the wrestling world, we should start doing that with thanks IWC. Like if you forget your umbrella and it's raining, be like thanks IWC.
I just did. You know, I had to go ahead and thank the IWC because I'm pretty sure that they're out there. They're like, you know, let's stop this guy from talking that shit. That's pretty much what those about.
I think we should just start a movement. Just thanks IWC. You know, maybe we'll get some heat up. And I just blame stuff. You know, like you're in the hospital, be like, thanks IWC. Car wreck. Let's see if we can get that trending. Hashtag thanks IWC. We're not that popular, but
damn IWCers. God damn it.
All right. Well, welcome to Stump the Idiot. This is where we answer questions. I'm glad you could join us.
I'm elated, man. I'm so happy to be on Stomp the Idiot. I've tried my whole life to get a chance to be on Stomp the Idiot, and now this is my moment. This is my WWE WrestleMania moment. Woo! I hope I don't blow it.
Well, and the thing is, our Monday Night Raw reviews get the most views of the week, so it's like you went from the A show to like superstars. you just went to like in Kocosports land. You went from main eventing Mania to, hey, you're part of Superstars now. Welcome to Stump the Idiot.
You know what? That exit button is feeling real good right about now.
All right, so let's answer a few questions and start rocking and rolling. All right, what are your favorite comedy wrestlers / storylines? All right, this is a good question because this is my opinion about comedy wrestling. It is very, very hard to be good at it. Like, if it's one of those things you're like, I fucking enjoy you and I love you, or what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of the ring. There's no middle ground with comedy wrestling, in my opinion. So we'll start with you. What is your favorite comedy wrestler / storylines?
Oh, well, hands down, I got to go to the king of all comedy wrestling. That's in the TNA jungle. That is nobody better than EY, Mr. Showtime, Eric Young.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to go to the highs first because nobody did the lockup better than EY. That was just the funniest thing ever because he would lock up with anybody, especially when he was Showtime EY. It was the funniest thing you've ever seen on wrestling. Period. Like the shit he was doing with Orlando Jordan. I mean, that was just priceless. It was something about it. Like you've seen a lot of goofy, funny wrestlers. I mean, like Santino, but EY he related because he was just stupid. The things he did was it was Tom Green borderline just stupid. He was like, what the hell is he doing now? You know, so you had to watch, you had to see whatever EY was doing. You knew it was gonna be gold because he's crazy.
Yeah, I thought early EC3 TNA does a lot of good comedy stuff. I thought early EC3 Spud stuff was good. I think it's a bit drawn out, and adding Jeremy Borash kind of like it kind of ruined it for me. But early EC3 Spud stuff was really good. And Shark Boy, not full-time Shark Boy. Full-time Shark Boy was annoying as shit. But part-time Shark Boy, especially the YouTube clips, dude, one of my favorite comedy skits of all time is Shark Boy's working in a pizzeria, still wearing a mask, and he gets a shot at TNA. It's like a special pay-per-view or something, and he tells the boss, "Fuck you, I'm going to TNA," and he goes and he just quits his job, and he's like, "Oh yeah, finally," you know. So Shark Boy leaves, and then for 5 seconds it's a pizzeria, and he comes back in. He's like, "Yeah, I might come back Tuesday just in case this is a one-time deal." So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought Santino in his prime was really good at comedy. On the indies, you got Colt Cabana. I think Colt Cabana does really good at comedy wrestling. And it's so weird because I remember everyone putting over Colt Cabana. I think this was at a Peterson Cup, or early Peterson Cup, in NWA Florida. It was definitely an NWA Florida show. And they're like, oh, you got to check out Colt Cabana. He's funny. And I'm like such a pure wrestling guy. You know, I'm like, you know, I'm that asshole that says funny isn't money. You know what I mean? So like, I'm like, what, dude? I didn't know who Colt Cabana was, and this was early in his career. You know, really early in his career. And he came out, and it was, you know, his song and him dancing, and like. I could have been like a TV commercial of that angry principal who starts partying. I was like, I don't like comedy wrestling. And he comes out there, and I'm like, holy shit, this is the most entertaining person I've ever seen in my life. So, Colt Cabana is pretty good. Japan does funny stuff, but the thing with Japan is they mix it up. So, like, it'll be like, I'm being funny, I'm not being funny. You know, I think they do a good job. So I don't know if there's any... And they have comedy feds. And what Japan, the comedy feds are, I think it's the greatest thing if you go once a year. If you go every show, you're just not, no. But they have some feds that are, it's more karaoke than pro wrestling. It's really weird. They have some really weird feds. My wife absolutely loves it. She's like, we should go to these wrestling all the time. Like, did they even have a match? But Japan has federations where it's nothing but comedy. And it's really, really good once a year. Like, if you're like...
I was going to say, now, we went to the king, one of the kings, which I said was EY. But we got to go to one of the gods of comedy when it comes to wrestling, and that's nobody other than The Rock. The Rock is probably... He has the most highlights of just making you just flip out, laugh, and making fun of people. I can't go no higher than The Rock. I mean, of course, now, right from The Rock, we have Stone Cold. With Stone Cold, he went with his heelless tactics, and he was just pretty much, Stone Cold was just stupid. Like, he was doing things like Jimmy Crack Corn, and that's when the what chance came about, you know, being just plain out silly. And also Booker T and Goldust. I mean, if you ever, you know, for those that witnessed the Booker T and Goldust tag team, that was some pure comedy amongst them two. I mean, it was kind of, you can kind of say that EY and Orlando Jordan was paying homage kind of to Booker T and Goldust is run, but I don't know. I can say that they was kind of copying, but at the same time, it was two different type of styles, and EY was just a little bit more stupider than Booker T could ever be, because EY was just gold, and then you had Orlando Jordan trying to, I don't know, sometimes he was trying to get him, he was trying to get with him at one point. It was a confusing, it was just the funniest shit that you've ever seen on TV, and I would say that, but I gotta also give a big shout out to Matt Morgan. The only funny run-in that I had with Matt Morgan was when he did the whole Lee's tag team title run with himself, and when he kicked Hernandez to the curb and had both tag team titles and was saying "we." And the funniest part about this whole run, which made it gold, was that he would sit there, he would fight a match by himself. And he'd be getting beat up and getting beat down, and all of a sudden he'll go to the turnbuckle to tag somebody in. Like he's like shit tired. And he's going in straight, reach his arm out to tag to somebody, but nobody's there, and all of a sudden he'll tag himself and come in like a fresh man. I thought that was the funniest shit I ever seen, and I've never seen that skit done before. I've never seen nobody do that persona before. That's why it was so fresh. It was so new to me, and I was like, yo, he's got to be the dumbest wrestler I've seen by far, besides EY. So those are some of my funniest wrestlers that many have ever seen. So
yeah, the Rock though, I wouldn't say he's more comedy. I think he's like, because I'm not a big, I don't know. No, hear me out. I think he's more sports entertainment. Like, I don't think he's comedy. I think he does it all. I think, like, I'm not the biggest fan of The Rock, but I respect him. When I describe The Rock, because people are like, well, he's not a great pro wrestler. He's not great, but I'm like, yeah, he might not be, but I think the way I describe The Rock is he's the king of sports entertainment. Like, when you're like, what's a sports entertainment guy? You're like, The Rock. And on top of that, one of my favorite Rock lines ever, and to this day still makes me laugh. Like, if I'm in a bad mood and my friends want to cheer me up, they'll just say 1 + 1 = Thomas Jefferson, sucker. Every time. And, dude, the joke never gets old. I laugh every time. And then on the indie level, Sideshow. This is kind of cheating because I worked with Sideshow. But, dude, he would just go out there. He was a hardcore wrestler, cruiserweight hardcore wrestler. And the stuff he said, the timing was absolutely hilarious. And I wish we found a promo. We did this promo. We were bored. We were there too early, the arena too early. And we found this old, dirty doll. And we did this promo where he just was an alcoholic sleeping in the streets. And it was by far one of my favorite promos ever that I've ever shot or been a part of. But it's lost. It's lost in time. Maybe if I find it. But it was really funny. Brian Ruiz says, are there any other wrestler fans that you know online or in your daily life that you see as true pro wrestling fans? I live in Japan. So... yeah, Japan, they love in-ring stuff. They have pro wrest bars. Yeah, probably, I would say maybe 70% of people I know in Japan are huge pro wrest fans. And the others either know about it or respect it. So it's a different atmosphere. I'm sure in America it would be different, but in America, I just didn't give a shit. Yeah, so, yeah, I know a lot of pro wrestling fans online and in person. But one thing...
It's interesting that you say that, because it makes me think of something. I may be going off script here when I say this, is that when you think about the Americans, and you look at stuff that when W always says, don't try this at home, and you got TNA, they put out products, don't try this at home or whatnot like that. But I always wondered, why is such a big popular, it's major overly popular in the Americas, but we don't have any schools that advertise, training camps for kids or, safety and teaching them proper ways of how to conduct themselves. It's like we have Taekwondo gyms and so forth.
People have, but you got to remember, especially in America, pro wrestling is frowned upon, and there's a lot of scam artists. There was a guy that did like kids pro wrestling, and people just shut it down. They called the police and stuff. It's just that it's too scummy. But in Japan, yeah, you can learn the pro wrestler as a college activity. Like, yeah, they're once a year at the hall. They have college students. They're like I would say sport, but after school activity, their club was pro wrestling. So, and it's just looked at differently here, But I don't know if there's any high school wrestling clubs, but I do know there's college. And then, yeah, you go and they do it. And a lot of them, they never want to be pro wrestlers. But at the same time, they're like, no, because it was weird because I was like, oh, I'm a huge pro wrestling fan. And they're like, oh, I took pro wrestling in college. And you're like, no, that motherfucker's fucking up his English. You know what I mean? You're like, you didn't take no pro wrestling in college. No, they have an event, and it's college kids. Now, a lot of them don't ever become pro wrestlers, but at the same time, how many NCAA football players go to the NFL? You know what I mean? True. It's really interesting. And once a year, all the universities get together. It's a really cheap card. And you can watch college kids. And some of them are really good. You're like, holy shit, that was a 5-star match. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go become a doctor. It's like, no, don't save lives. Go take the title away from Styles. But some of them, some of them you're just like, holy shit, you obviously did not take your fucking college course very seriously. But, yeah, it's just different. And one thing that helped me when I was in the Marine Corps, and people always laugh because I'm so old, and they're like, you still tell Marine Corps stories. Get over it, loser. But, I was always a wrestling fan. In high school, I just didn't give a shit. I don't know. I wasn't a nerd, but I wasn't a jock. I was like somewhere in between. I was enough of a jock for people not to fuck with me, but I was also
an outsider.
Yeah, I was an outsider. I don't know what. I don't want to say outsider because it feels like I'm fucking NWO.
A badass.
I was friends with everyone, but not really friends. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, what's up, chess team? Like, hey, Coco. Plus, it helped that I was small and had like a cool little nickname, so like that helped me get a lot of friends. And I was a bench warmer for the football team, and I was friends with a lot of the athletes. So like, if a bully came by, like the football team would be like, no, that's little Coco, leave him alone. But at the same time, I just did my own thing. So I imagine being a wrestling fan in high school's got to be hard. But in the Marine Corps, they bust your balls a lot. I was infantry. I don't know if you've ever served in the military, but just imagine it's guys that never see women and are behind guns all day. They just bust your balls. And sometimes when you're around people that bust your balls, you get tired. You're like, I'm not even going to put up an argument. You know what I mean? You're just worn down. So they were busting my balls that I was a wrestling fan. And Staff Sergeant Elliot came by, and he's the fucking baddest motherfucker on the planet ever. Like, you know how like people are like, wow, that tough guy. No, he was what Hollywood guys try to be for tough guys. He's like, hey, Coco, don't let those guys fuck with you. I like pro wrestling too. And I was like, yeah, just fucking own it. It's okay to like something that other people don't like. But I can imagine with John Cena being on, because like when I went to high school, it was just entering the Attitude Era. So it was getting exciting. So people didn't bust my balls, but I read comics and shit. I guess I was just lucky to be friends with everybody. I mean, I still got bullied and stuff, but it was nothing like as bad as it probably is today with, you know, internet, Facebook, and all that. But yeah, I know tons of people that just love pro wrestling and true passionate fans. But I also live in Japan, where like, yeah, there's restaurants and bars that, you know how like there's sport themed bars or hockey themed bars. We have pro wrestling bars. All right. Bullet Club Biggs is watching on Google Plus. Much love. Appreciate all those on the Twitters. Thank you. Dude, we got a Power Rangers thumbs up on Facebook. All right. Yeah, dude, you don't fuck around. The internet, you don't fuck around. We have request for Rob. Nothing like coming on the show and then you see the comments like, is it Rob? Like, no, it's not Rob. Rob will be coming. Rob and Boom Boom, their other co-hosts. They work crazy hours, but in the middle of the week, we'll be doing a pay-per-view profits and also NXT review, hopefully together.
Hey, y'all better settle for me, goddammit.
Well, not only that, but like sometimes, because like, you know, obviously Fred Yelly loves Rob, and we're not gonna knock him for loving Rob, but sometimes like, you know, Fred Yelly never does. But sometimes like, you know, most people like T-Sean, I only know because of last night through American a la carte. But a lot of times, the guys that I put on the show are like legit friends. So they'll come on and be like, hey, get rid of that co-host, fuck him. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you're supporting me, but you know, we're still friends, right? So, no, but in the beginning of the show, we said if you want to be co-host, because we get a lot of requests for co-hosting. So, yeah, we'll start doing Fave 5s as like open tryouts and more info. I am Mikey. Fun facts. Noted heavily from the past Raw. A few WWE personnel were walking around handing out sign items to kids in the audience who were shown on television. Of course. It's so funny because, like, the IWC or fucking the WWE Defenders always like, you're being worked. I'm like, no. The ones that are being worked are the piped in, the fake thing. And you know what? I don't even mind because, you know, there's other feds that pipe in crowd noise. There's other feds that hand out signs. I don't mind that. What I do mind is when it's piped in crowd noise for your selected guys. When it's piped in crowd noise or handed signs for your selected guys. Like if WWE gave piped in crowd noise for every face and piped in boos for every heel, I wouldn't have a problem. But if it's John Cena, Big Show, Sheamus, you know, and the select few, and they're the only ones, and if you're like a mid-card face, you're just out there to fucking crickets, I think that's bullshit. So, but yeah, of course they're handing out stuff. Thank you, I am Mikey, pay-per-view profit. What is your take on people disliking Reigns' push? Dave? Question mark. I think I think it's okay. People have opinions, but as far as disliking the push, I dislike the push. I don't dislike Reigns as much as people dislike Reigns. That's what I love about having a show every day. You can quote yourself so you don't look like you're a hypocritical asshole. From day one of the Reigns push, I said, I think Roman Reigns is better than John Cena. And I still believe that. I think Roman Reigns being pushed is better than John Cena being pushed. I believe that. But outside of that, I really didn't give him many compliments.
Well, there's a difference between. Now, I say this. There's a difference between your kind and their kind. See, the majority of the IWC audience or whatever like that. See, I think I identify with where he's going with this, with that question. See, a lot of people have been begging and crying and pleading for somebody new, somebody fresh. And then when they saw Roman Reigns at the beginning of last year's Royal Rumble, and they were like, yo, he needs to break off from the Shield. And a lot of the people that were screaming for the Shield to finally kind of split, they were all pulling it, and they were saying that Roman Reigns is next. They were like, yes, give him a push. And finally, when they did, and when WWE decided to get behind him, here comes these whiny, complaining brats. But now here's your kind, the ones who do not like the development of how WWE pushed them. See, it's kind of a lose-lose situation, because I go back to what I said yesterday, is that a lot of people, they've been so fed up with WWE. They don't like anything that WWE does, because WWE has shoved shit down their throats for a long time. So therefore, when WWE finally starts doing right, sometimes we resent them still regardless, because we're so used to shitting on WWE nowadays because of their shitty product and how they present things. So it's kind of an innate process where we like, you know what, fuck them anyway. And think about it. Prime example. Every time, WWE gets behind somebody, as I said yesterday, it gets behind somebody, they automatically reject them. You made reference towards Rey Mysterio at one point, and that interest that he had made, they resented him.
Yeah, but this is just fans. I'm going to cut you off for a second. This is just fans. And the problem is WWE and timing, and also WWE not being good at what they do. Like, if you do what you're doing right, I know this is going to be over the top, but I'm an over the top type of guy.
Do it.
It's like booking a show, and because I booked shows where you had to. I booked, I think at my prime, I was booking 4 shows a week. 4 shows a week. I was making a full-time living doing an independent pro wrestling. It was fun. But the thing is, you have to be confident and you have to know where you're going. But you also, it has to be a feel. There has to be timing. You have to know when to do it and when to not. And I think the biggest thing WWE has going against it is timing. And I think when people say, well, first off, as far as fans saying it, I think one thing I wish the world would do better, not just wrestling fans, stop saying all. I think once you say all, you lose so much credibility. You know what I mean? It's like, and I try to do it. Like, that's one thing I try to catch in vocabulary. Like, if I'm like, oh, all Japan people. Like, that's the most ridiculous fucking statement I could possibly make. Even if it's just most or those. But I think a lot of problems as far as the fans go is they're too extremist. They're like, well, that's what you wanted. And I'm like, no, I do a podcast every day. You could see what I wanted. It's out in the open. You're making, what the problem is they want to make an enemy that doesn't exist. And a lot of times people just do that shit, and it's wrong. But as far as WWE goes, I think they use it as a crutch. Where like, well, we gave you someone new, and you're like, yeah, but that's not what we wanted. And I think it's kind of like, it's a bad wife. That's what WWE is. It's like a bad wife. It's like, let's say your wife sucks at cooking, but you're like, you know what? This fucking toast doesn't taste that bad. So you decide to give your bad wife a compliment. Or maybe not bad wife, but bad cook wife. And you're like, you know what, honey? I like the toast. And you're really saying the rest of your food fucking sucks, but your toast is bearable. So WWE / your bad wife every fucking day for the rest of your life makes you toast. Like, you like the toast, right? You're like, yeah, honey. Yep, Roman Reigns is a new guy. This is what I wanted. You know what I mean? So a lot of it is just timing, and the biggest thing, which was the headline of Monday Night Raw's thing, I honestly think deep down inside, WWE doesn't know how to push a good guy.
Okay. I mean,
That's what,
I go back to what I said, and the reason why I said it is because it's something that I went over on my show that I did on Blog Talk Radio, and when I talk about relationships, and we were talking about women that say they want a good man, but then again, they continuously find shitty men in America. Now, this is something that it caused controversy, but then everybody didn't love it.
hold on, can I cut you off for a really bad joke? That's because I moved to Japan. You know, the statistics went down once I moved. Go on.
Oh, I think we should add that in there. But at the same, it goes like this: a woman that wants a good man, all of a sudden you notice that she goes for a shitty guy. You're like, why you keep dating shitty guys then? And I said this on my show, and I said, you know what? I said, I think you women, y'all want somebody to bitch and complain about. That's what you want. You're so used to it. That's what you want. So regardless, if you say I want a good man, but then again you see she's with a shitty dude, regardless, she's constantly getting somebody that treats her like shit because she's used to bitching and complaining. A lot, and I had women. I interviewed them on my show, and we narrowed down. They're like saying, well, yeah, I do want kind of a guy that gets on my nerves. I want a guy that I complain about. I said, well, damn, there we go. And so now when we relate this to what's going on with the wrestling community, okay, like I said, there are those that are wise enough like you. There are those who are in the middle like myself, and there are those who just want something to bitch and complain. They're rooting against WWE. Now, if they do something they like, they're like, that's one out of the many. But then again, the minute it's something that they can be cute about and rush to the masses about and say, they're hopping all over it. They're protesting. They're talking. It's like a Reverend Al Sharpton or damn, what's that other snake's name? The Fugazi with the hair slicked back. I don't give a damn because I don't want to mention his name. You know, it's like them running to whatever little buzz they can get on so they can say something cute and strike up some media attention. That's pretty much what we're dealing with a lot of times in this so-called wrestling community, is that you have people that just are waiting to bitch about something. And I've noticed it.
Yeah, no. I'm going to break it down. I used to write a column called The Good, Bad, and Ugly. And people ask me all the time, like, well, when Raws are bad, your shows are more entertaining. And I'm speaking on behalf of a podcaster. I'm taking my fan hat off, and I'm putting my podcaster hat on. For as far as podcasting goes, I want a Monday Night Raw that has something really good I can put over, something really bad that I can complain about, and something ugly that we could just bitch and complain about all together. So, like, as a podcaster, I want something of everything. And it's weird because lately, the last couple of Raws, it seems like there's bad and ugly, but there's been so much bad and ugly that bad is starting to become good. Like, they're wearing you down. But as far as, like, podcasting goes, presenting a show, you know what I mean? When it comes to New Japan and Lucha Underground, I worry about those shows because I like everything. So it's like, well, you're reviewing and you say everything's great. Well, I'm sorry, that's my opinion, you know? So, like, as far as a podcaster goes, I would love something good, bad, and ugly for the show. Now, as far as, you know, most WWE fans, they know what's good. WWE knows what's good. But they have a thing in their heart that they're like, fuck those guys. Like, Survivor Series. Dolph Ziggler. People knew that was good. The majority of people thought that was good. WrestleMania 30. Daniel Bryan. Majority of people thought that was good. So, here's the problem. They know what's good, but I think WWE is playing a dangerous game that's fucking annoying as shit, as if you're a fan, of let's give them horrible shit, and then we'll give them good shit once every now and then. And they've admitted this publicly, where I think, you know, WWE, this is just my opinion, I'm making these numbers up, but my opinion are fucking numbers. I think WWE 90% of the time doesn't give what you want, and 10% of the time they give you what you want. And they're hoping that, hey, that 10% of the time when we give you what you want is done at the right time, people will just drag them along. You know what I mean? We'll drag the fans along. That's what I believe WWE thinks. Where I think it could be the opposite. Maybe 80% good and 20% fucking with you. Because Wouldn't it be better that 20% of the time you're like, holy shit, I can't fucking believe that happened, than 10% of the time going, oh yeah, that was good. That's just me. That's me. All right, let's go to some more live comments here. Not live comments. These are past comments. Let's get the past comments out of the way. CC Fitzy, pay-per-view prophet says, I don't like how they seem to label Paige as just another one of those crappy divas. Oh yeah, this is you've come to the heat portion of the Stump the Idiot. She is more than capable of carrying the Divas to a quality match. The only issue is the way WWE books the women on the main roster. Charlotte's match on Raw against Natalya was nothing special because you can't do anything good with 2 minutes to work with. This is true. Paige is a proper wrestler, and and if she was allowed to be the anti-diva she was in NXT and given more time, her matches, nobody in that company would touch her, in my opinion. Now, I agree with you, CC Fitzy. The problem is, I think those days are over. I mean, it's kind of like Spanky. We mentioned this earlier in this show. If you're a great wrestler and you stop being a great wrestler, how much longer do we give you? You know, I think Paige, I've been watching her wrestle forever. I saw the documentary about her family. She's from the UK. Her family is promoters over there in Europe. I think she's an amazing wrestler. I think at NXT, she only showed about 80% of what she could do. And when she came to the WWE, she's very young. I thought Paige was scared. I could be wrong, but I thought the big stage, because, you know, wrestling for your family and then wrestling at NXT and then going to WWE, could you imagine? I mean, they held her back. They held Paige back at NXT because of her age. She's very, very young. I think she's in her early 20s and has been like an 8-year veteran or something. She's been doing this a really long time. But I don't know your age, but I can imagine 20-year-old me, 21-year-old me, you know, doing something and then being on a stage where millions of people watching you doing it. The first time it's got to be a real kick in the nuts. And I think she was a little stage fright. I could be wrong. That's my opinion.
What is this anti-diva? Now, I'm play dumb for a second. What is this anti-diva shit that people keep mentioning about with this Paige?
Paige in NXT, and other people have done it, but Paige really perfected it in NXT. Anti-diva means you're not. I don't want to say this as insulting, but you're not pretty. You're not a model. You don't give a shit about that stuff. You're not here to be pretty. You're here to be a wrestler. It's kind of like that. Because all the divas, at one time, I think they did a good job recently, but at one time, every diva was like a Fox News anchor. Blonde, skinny, just there, you know? So they mixed it up so all of them don't look exactly the same.
Okay. Well, hold on.
That's what anti-diva is.
Let me pause you just for a second. Now, Paige was supposed to be representing an NXT anti-diva, but yet she still makeup, still all of this stuff, all the get-up of being a girl, basically. Whether it want to be sporty or fashionable or whatever. The only thing she didn't have was a tan, basically. Now, anti-diva is Karma / Awesome Kong.
Yeah, that's an awesome anti-diva.
Is none other than ODB. Now, the problem with Paige's character being an anti-diva is that she had to do too much trying to conform and try to prove herself being an anti-diva. Other than folks among the likes of Awesome Kong and so others, they didn't have to. They were already conformed as anti-diva. You know, I mean, that's just the look. Raka Khan and all these funny looking characters, you know, they had to do a lot to try to even be fitting in towards the diva, but they were looked at as Amazon or whatnot. So when with this Paige character, you know, I don't get the whole anti-diva wannabe type. I get where they're trying to go with it now, but then again, I think it's pointless. You know.
Well, she did a pretty good job in NXT, but now the problem is people wanted that to come. You can't be the anti-diva when most of the world thinks you're beautiful and you're on Total Divas. And the problem is, I think a lot of fans saw Paige, especially if you watched her from the UK days, as new life into women's wrestling. They're like, wow, she's good looking enough and can wrestle. But the problem is, and I don't hate her for this, I think she's sold out. And we can't not call her a diva now. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I hate her because she sold out. Like, fuck you, you sold out, bitch. Nothing like that. It's just, you're a diva. You're not the
You know who
anti-diva.
did the anti-diva situation the best, but kept her composure and still looked dateable, in my
Who's that?
opinion? Oh, none other than Lita.
Oh,
Lita
yeah, yeah.
embodied anti-diva. It was very hard. You wouldn't even want to even envision her in high heels. I mean, you just didn't. You didn't. She was still great looking and still could cut up and just destroy a match. You know, that's a good thing that she destroyed a match. I'm not talking bad about her skills. Her skills was great. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for those like, oh no, he's saying she's bad in the ring. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that she was good. She was the bomb in the ring. She could do it almost than anything. She pulls off matches to the extreme. So Lita is the embodiment of an anti-diva, but yet she is presented as somebody you would be dreaming. You most definitely want to lay her down in the bed and get it on. So Paige being compared to Alita, it's like
You know
no.
what it is? I think that she was a little bit stage fright, and now she's a legit diva. And the fact that we call her a diva and don't see her as special anymore hurts people. But I don't think it hurts her. She's just like, fuck you, I'm a diva, I'm getting paid. But I just know what it is. It's seeing someone super talented sell out for money and to be famous, and you're like, I can't argue you, but if you want me to say you're still a great wrestler, that's where I draw the line. You know,
Injury,
congratulations on your success, but it's over.
injury to insult. The woman is fighting for the Divas Championship. You know what I'm saying? She didn't protest the belt and say I want the women's championship back. She's fighting for the Divas Championship, so she cannot be anti-diva. She can't.
So
I,
I think she's talented. I think WWE is fucked her, but at the same time, she accepted it. So you know, I wish we'd see great women's wrestling, and I'm afraid of Charlotte's future, but I don't know. But here's the thing, and someone mentioned this
uh-huh.
in social media. I forget who it was. I apologize to the internet if you remember. They said,
Okay.
are the women wrestlers really getting better, or just the men getting worse? And that one kept me up late last night. I'm like, that's a good way of looking at it. Like, because they never really show wrestling on Raw anymore. So maybe we're like, wow, these women are really getting better. But that's because we haven't seen a match in 20 years.
I was gonna say, well, maybe not on Raw, but like I talked about the NXT review. Now, that the women's NXT matchup was the one that pretty much stole it for me. I was really taken away. I wasn't expecting it. Maybe it's because I wasn't expecting that much from the NXT Divas. I wasn't expecting all that, but they pulled it off, and it was one of my highlights of the NXT review. It lived up to it high expectations for me, and I walked away saying, "Yo, that was the best matchup of the night." I mean, it had everything in it. It told a great story, had great action in it, and I was like, "Well, damn, I didn't see that one coming," you know. But so if they're basing it off of that, okay, I get their point of view, but I don't understand. Like, if that's as far as Raw and SmackDown, get the fuck out of here. I'm not agreeing with that comment just right off the bat. Basis of that. Now, if they talking about NXT, I got you. I feel you. But I haven't seen that many great matches on Raw with the Divas division. What the hell?
Yeah, well, hopefully it just improves. I mean, because to me, like, it's Wrestling Ranton, he did a show. He did a great video today, and I'll put a link down in doobly-doo about the
I
Civil
watched it.
War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, about the Civil War, about how there's pro wrestling fans and sports entertainment fans. And maybe I'm just delusional, but couldn't both be happy? Like, can you make like WWE? You have a monopoly. Money's not a problem. Dream matches are not a problem. Nothing is a problem. The only problem is that you have an old guy who hates pro wrestling. But I just wonder, like, couldn't sports entertainment fans and pro wrestling fans be happy on the same show? It seems like everyone's like, I don't know. Am I delusional? Think one day if ran right, you can make both audiences happy.
Well, that is true, but everybody has to come into the understanding right here. Now, this is probably going to spoil it for everybody right then and now. People have to understand this, that there are things that happen behind the scene that are beyond your control. You know, there's people that don't want to be at the top. That will tell you that they're not ready. And matter of fact, we've had this confirmation from plenty of wrestlers. You have people like Daniel Bryan say, I don't really want to go over. I mean, they might not be in compliance. So therefore, and they got people that do not feel like going on. It's like a prime example, CM Punk. CM Punk said, "I'm hurt, guys. I want to talk about this guy. I want to do this." And at that time when CM Punk was doing that, he was majorly over, and the audience wanted more of him. So just imagine if WE would have, pushed him to the side when he said push him to the side. It would have been more and more bitchy. We've been mad and angrier. Like, oh man, they're hating on CM Punk. They're holding them back. Well, he wants to be healthy.
And this is where competition comes in from another company. This would go away if like WCW stayed in business. You wouldn't hear this. And on top of that, to steal a line from Paul Heyman, and I always book this way. And I think New Japan books this way. I think Dragon Gate books this way. I think Lucha Underground books this way. NXT to a point books this way. The problem is WWE is built on a company of, look, there's our big superstar, there's our Bruno, there's our Hogan, there's our Stone Cold. Where Paul Heyman and those other companies I listed said, no, every single person that walks out that curtain should be cared about. And if WWE went to more of that, everyone that walks out of that curtain should be cared about, and they did stuff to go about that path instead of let's put all our eggs in one bucket. All right, that bucket's breaking. Let's put it in all our eggs in that bucket. Like, why not spread the eggs in the buckets? You know what I mean? And the good thing is, one thing that the Attitude Era a lot of people don't look upon is, dude, look at all the guys that could have been the main guy, and they shared the responsibility together. The Rock, Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, Triple H. You had so many great wrestlers all at one time, but they were like, Stone Cold on his podcast says all this time, you need a dancing partner. I think WWE would do a lot better with all their problems if there hadn't be a Golden Boy. Like, because like right now, what's their biggest...
Go ahead and say it, John Cena. Go ahead and say it.
Oh, without a doubt, John Cena. I mean, that was obvious. But I'm saying one of the biggest points is John Cena, but also with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is hurting, not because of Roman Reigns. Well, granted, Roman, stay away from Twitter and interviews. You're a fucking retard. But besides that fact, the main reason he's hurting is the booking. If you just made it where Roman Reigns was important, but so is this, so is this, so is this, there wouldn't be so much heat and pressure on Roman Reigns. And the same thing, like in New Japan, who's the face of New Japan? And you will have arguments for hours. Who's the future face of New Japan? You'll have arguments for hours. Who's the face of WWE? John Cena. Who's the future face of WWE? Roman Reigns. All right, conversation's over. Thanks. Glad we were here. And I think they could solve a lot of these problems by changing their style. But the problem is, and I compare it to the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers won Super Bowl I with the power sweep. They power sweep to the right. They power sweep to the left. Fuck you. We're running this play forever. But eventually, the Green Bay Packers didn't win every Super Bowl. Sometimes it feels that way for people that live in Wisconsin. But they didn't win every single Super Bowl. But they added plays. The problem is, WWE is the Green Bay Packers at Super Bowl I, and they're like, power sweep right, power sweep left. And no one's ever fucking beat them. And I think at the end, you're like, you can throw in a pass. You know what I mean? So I think they have a formula, but they won the war. So their formula is going to stick for a very long time. All right, some more heat. Let's see. Oh, man. The Nerdman 2, member of the Internet Infantry. We had it fallen out. I said stuff, and I was kind of wrong, but I'm going to stick by my kind of wrong statement.
Yeah, don't backtrack.
On a Raw review, I said, oh, good for Rikishi. He deserves it. And Nerdman 2 lost his shit. You've lost all my respect with me, dude. I'm like, son of a bitch, I wasn't even really paying attention to that statement. Like, that was my first response. I was like, I didn't even pay attention to my statement. But, I said it, so I gotta pay the piper. I gotta eat the cheese. Sorry, but saying Rikishi should be in the Hall of Fame. Wow. Just wow. Who next? Val Venus? What was everyone thinking in the six-man? Taker, Triple H, Angle, Stone Cold, The Rock, and Rikishi? What? Rikishi does not belong. He looked like an idiot. And made even Triple H look like a star on that level. Bullshit. Now, listen. I am wrong about Rikishi being a Hall of Famer. But I'm not wrong in him being a WWE Hall of Famer. And let me explain why. When you have a Hall of Fame, and we have a Hall of Fame on Kocosports.net, a Combat Sports Hall of Fame, and the way we do that is we send out surveys to staff members, and we make a list of who goes into Hall of Fame. And that's how we do it. So a lot of times, there might be a guy in our Hall of Fame I don't agree with, but that's the procedure of doing it. WWE's Hall of Fame now has a procedure of we just randomly pick whoever the fuck we want. That's their procedure. Now, in a Hall of Fame, it's very important to know who's the least talented guy in the Hall of Fame, because that's now the standard. Like, a lot of people is like, my friend and my mentor, Randy Harris from Talking Sports, he calls it the Hall of Pretty Good. He's like, well, it's not the Hall of Fame, it's the Hall of Pretty Good because this guy's in. Well, when it comes to a Hall of Fame, the worst guy in the Hall of Fame is very important. Because then when it comes to arguments, and in wrestling there's no stats, there is, but it's not as important as in sports. So if, let's say, you hit 40 home runs in a season for your whole career, and you're like, well, his batting average sucked, but you're like, well, everyone else that hit 40 home runs every year got into the Hall of Fame. You have to know what the minimum is. And even though I don't consider him to be a Hall of Famer or one of the best ever, there are people way worse in the Hall of Fame than Rikishi. And I think the standard is so low. And my whole thing is, if you're just going to randomly pick them out, WWE guys, when they retire, some of them hit hard times. I don't think Rikishi has hit hard times, but some of them have. And they might be able to be relevant again. They might be able to go to signatures and sign more. A Hall of Fame signature is worth more than not a Hall of Fame signature. So they can get bookings. So my whole thing is, if the standards are already low, fuck it, let everybody in. I understand that. Do I consider Rikishi to be a Hall of Famer? No. Do I consider Rikishi to be a WWE Hall of Famer? Yeah. And the reason why is someone worse than him has already been in. So I don't know if that's a good enough answer for you, Nerd Man, but it's my honest answer.
Let me get
What's your thought on the Rikishi gate?
Okay, check this out. Now, for anybody that has an issue with Rikishi going into the Hall of Fame, I have to ask you to question yourself. Do you really want to complain about this one? Now, say for instance, if Eugene went into the Hall of Fame instead, I can kind of vouch for that situation or whatnot. But now Rikishi, as long as he had a decent character that went a great amount of years with the company, and he had a lot of good roles in the company, and he's identified very well. He has a great identity that describes him very well. So I don't. Has there been an issue about him being in the Hall of Fame, or he's in there too soon? What, is he supposed to be dead right now or something? I mean, the guy, he performed to his best ability. He moved like no big man ever. I mean, he did a lot of things that many couldn't do. And then he became famous off his back end, and made that out of a damn career, and had some great storylines and tag team runs. So I really don't see an issue with him in that, as long as he played a prominent role in an era. That's all that really matters. I mean, there's a lot of people that can go in Godfather, a lot of people that can go in, but just let them space them out, because therefore a lot of these people are fill-ins. Let's keep it real. We got Macho Man already, so do we want to really keep stacking the deck? I mean, because people are like, well, let's bring this person in. Another bigger name we could have brought in. No, say that for another year. Space out your bigger names or your bigger so-called fantasy Hall of Famers. Space them out. Give it some time, because we don't need to put everybody in it at once on one whole card. And that, with the argument with Rikishi, he does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, because the guy, he does some great things. Let him have his shot. And for one, he may be able to work a spot in with his sons at WrestleMania. So then there's a win when they get to utilize him as well. He's alive and well. He can move around. You can still utilize him for a program or whatnot like that. So I don't really see the argument, considering who we have in the Hall of Fame right now. I don't see no argument. I don't really see the argument as far as having him in yet. You throw him in now, because we have a very solid Hall of Fame panel so far. So him being in the Hall of Fame, that's really no problem. If you argue about that, if you complain, if anybody's complaining about that right now, what the hell is wrong with you? Like we got a decent cast right now to go to the Hall of Fame so far. So why not? I mean, what's the big complaint about it?
Well, because I'm a wrestling purist, and I didn't throw Rikishi under the bus for his lack of wrestling skills. But at the same time, I mean, I just think once the standard has been lowered, you can just let people in, and not let
it's not really a standard lowering. I mean, if you let's look at it like this here. We got who we've always been wanting to be in the Hall of Fame, Macho Man is in right now. That really overshadows everything so far. So now with Rikishi in there, I mean, I don't see the problem with having him going on in. I mean, he's somebody that's still alive. He's God willing, and now he's somebody that can still get in the ring. He's somebody that could benefit off of this as well. So it's actually a good thing that he's going in right now. And I don't see why do we have to, how many more years do we have to wait to put him in there?
Yeah, and my whole thing is if there was a standard or a procedure, I would be more willing to argue it. But if it's just some random lottery, no, let everybody in. I know that's going to make a lot of people angry, but it means a lot to these athletes, and there is no standard that has been set. Last saved comment. After that, it's all live comments. I'll just answer this really quick because it was answered by a fellow commenter better than I could ever speak. It's just, why do you hate the Bullet Club? And this is towards me because I have a love-hate relationship with the Bullet Club. I really do. And even though I'm a writer, not a very good one, I couldn't come up with the words to describe my feelings towards the Bullet Club because I love them and hate them. You know what I mean? But Bullet Club Biggs hit a home run, and I just want to answer all the why do you hate the Bullet Club thing because I really don't hate them. I have a love-hate relationship with the Bullet Club, but Bullet Club Biggs said it best. I'm reading this. He's answering for me because he said it best. Bullet Club is like the cool underground hip-hop group or punk band that gets popular and mainstream and then ruins it for the original fans. I think that's where I am as far as Bullet Club. I think that hits a home run right there. But I do love Bullet Club, but at the same time, Team Chaos, baby. Team Chaos. All right. Let's go to some live comments, and then we'll be wrapping this up shortly. All right. I am Mikey says WWE recently registered a trademark for Redneck Repping Company, which should be the name of a new stable. Shake my head. Good God, let us start placing bets on who will be included in the job squad. LOL. Hashtag bull, bull, bull. Man, I don't know. WWE made a lot of money with, I don't want to say let's call it racism. Different levels of racism. Not the highest level, but it was always like
stereotyping.
Yeah, stereotypes. They just made a lot of money off stereotypes, and nowadays people don't buy into that as much, but they're old and they don't know any better. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean you have a Japanese athlete and he's doesn't do anything that a Japanese stereotype would do? You know what I mean? Like, it's basically WWE still books wrestling like we're all separated audiences and books it like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. You're the Italian guy. You like pizza. And hopefully, first off, I think the world is changing away from that, and slowly but surely. I mean, there's still its problems, but I don't think it's as bad as when, Bruno was around. I'm not blaming racism on Bruno, by the way. I'm just saying times have changed. But I don't get it. I don't get the over-the-top characters, but that's just me, especially when it comes to being a race. Like, that's one thing that people worry about Kenta. We talk about that a lot in Japan. It's just like, man, they're going to ruin him. But who knows? Brian Ruiz says, Yoshikio was the best comedy wrestler in DDT. Yeah, DDT has some funny stuff. I am Mike Ashman. An initial reaction to Samoa Joe leaving TNA among the other wrestlers is that they are very down because Joe and the company couldn't come to terms on a new deal. That sucks. Joe had always been as a leader in the locker room and was well liked mostly by everyone. Joe's departure is leaving a hole in the roster similar to the one that AJ left and parted ways. Yeah, as a fan, seeing AJ, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe leave, I don't I don't know how much longer I can be on this TNA bandwagon. You know, I love
Was,
TNA.
was that confirmed by Samoa Joe? Did he say that?
Oh, this is what I'm reading off I Am Mikey. The only thing that I know for a fact that Samoa Joe said is that we parted ways. Good luck.
Yeah.
You know, so
I hate when people do that shit. Like,
yeah,
let him say that.
And then he's got some tweets from people. So here we go. So I guess he does have some backup. He's ready. This was 8 minutes ago, but he's still ready. Just sucks to hear at Samoa Joe leaving TNA. He will do great things and continue excellence. Don't know what else to say. I don't agree. That's from Taz. Magnus says, not gonna lie, pretty devastated that my big brother won't be there next time I go to work. He's more than fine. At Samoa Joe is all pro. So I guess he has, and Kurt Angle. So there's people. Two, at Samoa Joe, one of the very best I've ever had the privilege to wrestle. Many blessings to you in your future. I will remember the feuds. I am a huge Samoa Joe fan. I don't even let it shine. I know a lot of podcasters are not supposed to say you're a fan of anyone, but Kocosports, it's okay to be a passionate fan. That's our motto here. I'm going to be completely honest. Samoa Joe leaving TNA is very heartbreaking for me. Brian Ruiz says, seriously, The Rock is the funniest in pro wrestling. His burials on Cena were hilarious. So Brian Ruiz has your back on this one.
What I said about The Rock, that's a fact. I mean, now you may have put him in a whole other category, but comedy, he was comedy. He was the epitome of comedy on wrestling. I mean, nobody else could just do it like that on the spot. And I'm done. I'm gonna stop talking about it.
No. I agree. No, I agree what you say. I mean, we could disagree, but yeah.
No, I stopped myself because I'd be going on and on about it. But yes, The Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, prime example.
I know you're a rookie at Kocosports, and podcasters usually get mad if people disagree. We're not that type of podcast.
I was just gonna say, I rest my case. The reason why I would stop talking because I just say, well, just type in on YouTube funniest moments in wrestling or just wrestling period, and The Rock will be like everywhere. So.
Franielli gives you kind of a backhand compliment. I can settle for T-Shawn. You've been pretty entertaining so far. Besides, we can't leave Dave alone. He tends to get distracted and deviate from the topic at hand. LOL, love you, Dave. It's true. I don't know if you've ever heard one of my solo shows. There's times where, because, you start going insane doing a 2 or 3 hour show by yourself. Like, there'll be times where I'll be like, and that is how you put the peanut butter on the snail. And then I'll be like, what was I talking about?
I've had some, I think we call them brain farts or whatever. I've had some moments on when I did my blog talk about relationships and whatever like that. I had them a lot. I'll just be talking. I'm like, yeah, we had a topic, didn't we?
yeah, and the funny thing is, like, when someone asks you a question, but you want to build up to an answer, but then you forget your answer because the build-up was so interesting that you never answered the question.
I never admitted that. That shit happens a lot. I'm like, ugh. Now they ask me a question and they're like, so what do you think about when this happens? I'm like, I think this. What was I gonna say? And I have to improvise like, I got another call coming in. You know what? I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
You're like, I hope that answered your question. I don't remember what the question was. And the thing is, there's a funny thing on Jericho's podcast. Bad News Barrett, the same thing happened to him. Bad News Barrett was like, I couldn't hear what Jericho said, so he just started cutting a promo, and Jericho's like, I just wanted you to introduce me. And Bad News Barrett was like, I really had no idea what you wanted me to do. It's pretty funny to see that even happens with such big entertainers as those two. But that's a pretty funny. If you see, check out Jericho's podcast with Bad News Barrett. That was one of the funnier ones. Because usually when two celebrities get together, it's an ass-kissing fest. But this one was actually pretty funny. Stillwell plays, what would Vince do if WWE dug its own grave by making NXT too good? Great show, by the way. I honestly think, I think if he makes NXT too good, he's going to make it where that's its own brand for the network, and you can buy the network, but he's also going to spin it. Vince McMahon is very good at spinning bad stuff into great stuff. He's just the king at that. Like, I I say mean stuff about Vince McMahon all the time, but when you say as much mean stuff as I do, you have to give him compliments. That guy just spins bad press better than anyone. Like, I honestly think McMahon Marketing Company would do so much better than WWE. But yeah, I think if NXT becomes more successful than WWE, he would just be like, well, I own that, and he would put it on the network, and it would help the network, it would help his company grow, and every now and then NXT could invade, and he would have his own competition, which is good. But on top of that is he would also spin it. Like, everyone's buying the network because of NXT. And they'd be like, no, everyone's buying the network because of John Cena. You got to remember, Vince McMahon, even though he's 7 years old, that might be a little bit off.
Yeah, I hate to be the bad guy here, but I thought I had once kind of buried this one with the whole NXT situation. Now, NXT, it may be entertaining for what it is right now. But for people that say like, oh, it can get bigger than Raw. What if it gets bigger? Like, I wish people would really shut the hell up on that part right there, because we've seen NXT being done in an arena.
Yeah,
it wasn't very successful. But
see, I disagree. I think it's amazing. I think this is where we disagree the most. But the problem is too, like, I just want to add to you, like I want to add to your point by still disagreeing with you and agreeing with you. I think also the problem is, how are you going to beat someone that could take anything away from you? You know, it's like, oh, you're better than Raw? Why? Because Devitt, Kenta, okay, they're on Raw now. Oh, you're better than Raw? Why? Oh, because we have Steen. Well, you don't have Steen. Like, it's hard to defeat someone. At any moment, they can take away your stars.
No, it's not even just that. It's injuries that you have to look at. You have to also take into consideration. So, say, for instance, they take NXT on the road. Okay, they have a very few stars on there. And say, for instance, Kevin Steen, he's hurt, and Balor's hurt. So you still gotta play it along. You gotta add somebody from Raw to it. And now WWE has to devise another budget for another company to be pushing in more different dates to tour other places. So it's a confusing fucking twist now. Now it's like we gotta do now. We probably gotta take away SmackDown. You gotta film Raw. You gotta do it. It's too much going on. That's why.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's money. It's spreading your product out thinner. I see. You see, you're saying it as a bad thing. I see it as a good thing for, like, business wise, because
for the fans.
Because like WWE, the brand split. The reason there was a brand split is they wanted to do more shows, and even now they split up the rosters. So to me, you got to remember, there's one thing that you can always predict about WWE. They're gonna go after that money before anything. And if NXT is making money and they take it on the road, they're like, well, we have these guys under contract. Who gives a shit?
They better sell out.
You know, so I
arenas better sell out.
Yeah.
But that's the other question, though. Are they going to be in arenas, or are they going to do,
I imagine smaller arenas. I mean, they're going to Ohio, and I don't know the details, but I imagine it's a small arena. They're probably going to hit stuff up like the ballroom. You know what I mean? Like the Hamilton Design Ballroom. Arenas that WWE house shows.
Okay.
You know, maybe WWE arena house shows will be for their bigger events, but even smaller arenas, they're just going to hit up. And you got to remember, they got these guys under contract, and that's why our keep grinding them comes in. You know, if you got them under contract, and you're like, well, Prince Devitt can make a little bit of money in Ohio, or sit on his ass and cost me money. Your ass is going to Ohio, you know what I mean? So, where NXT's future lies, I don't know if it'll ever be as big as WWE for one fact. It's like being a Tampa Bay Rays fan.
Correct, it is.
You're going to lose those players eventually.
It is WWE.
Yeah. Well, I think it's but I think it's a brand split that happened by accident, and they've always wanted a brand split. So, like, wait, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? So I think WWE is pleasantly surprised with the success of NXT, and they're like, well, if people like that, give it to them because it's just more money. But then you're like, well, can they be on the big stage? And I'm like, no.
Well, Vince McMahon and Triple H, they once did an interview in the past, I think about a couple of years ago, when they first started the development center. No, they said they wanted it to be its own brand. They wanted it to, I mean, this is what they actually planned this out. As far as they wanted to put more attention and make it more advanced of a structure to show how well they can put together a show. So this is actually a lot what people are thinking is actually what they intended on doing, because that's why everything was so state of the art in the development center, so that way therefore it can be presented better. It was supposed to be way much better. It's supposed to, because
it was originally FCW and they had no plans of expanding. It was originally supposed to be FCW and there was no plans of expanding, and then they just kept switching it over and over and over again.
And they took the NXT idea. Well, they took NXT they were doing as a side show. They took it and said, okay, we're gonna pronounce this brand. And
I don't know if it's because T-Shon's here, but I feel like I'm giving WWE a lot of compliments, and I feel like I have to take a shower. But I did mention this before in other shows.
Mm-hmm.
WWE is great at knocking out competition. And here's the thing. TNA's competition, they had a home at Orlando. You think it's a coincidence that NXT does all their tapings in Orlando? I don't think so. And then on top of that, let's say a PWG pops up on a map. Let's say a Ring of Honor pops up on a map. Well, you can't send to fucking WWE giant fucking arenas because that's not going to damage them. You know, it's like, oh, well, here's WrestleMania. Well, yeah, all the indies flock to WWE because they know that's where the wrestling fans are going to be. So if you bring in WWE, that only helps your competition grow. But if you bring in NXT, that doesn't help your competition grow, and it actually hurts you, and it starts shutting down the competition. Because one thing that Vince is great at, besides spinning shit into positive, like Vince McMahon's like, you were just punched in the face. How does it feel? And it'd be like, well, they got it on Instagram, and it's trending worldwide. Yeah, but your nose is broken. Well worth it. Like, he's just that type of personality.
And we saw exactly what happened to TNA when they started moving to arenas and what WWE did to them.
Yeah.
The most shadiest shit I've ever seen, which they would buy out different arenas and so forth and block them. So.
Well, and at WrestleMania weekend, they try to do that too. They try to buy out all the arenas and stuff. And it's just WWE is very good at propaganda, very good at making something bad into something good that looks good, and they're very good at stopping competition. Like, I think TNA, I know this is going to hurt so many people's feelings. I think TNA helps WWE so much more than anyone could ever imagine. Because there are wrestling fans that are rich. The perfect example is Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban's like, oh man, that'd be cool. You know, he's a passionate guy. He turned around the Mavericks. He started companies. He has a lot of fun. Mark Cuban is a dangerous man to WWE. But the problem is, WWE kisses Mark Cuban's ass, and then like, oh, you're thinking about starting your own indie fed? Well, this Dixie Carter chick had tons of money, and look what she did. And then, you know, Mark Cuban's like, yeah, good point. I'm out. You know what I mean? So TNA actually helps WWE. Please send all hate mail to T-Sean at Lennox Wooderson says, Nakamura, Kenta, Okada, and Tanahashi. Who does Vince push, fire, or bury? Who does you push, fire, and bury? The last guy stays home. All right, so we're playing push, fire, bury, stay home. Vince McMahon. Let's answer for Vince McMahon first. You can say if you agree or disagree with Vince McMahon's answer. I think Vince only pushes one and fucking fires the rest, because Vince McMahon's like, I only need one Asian. That's it. Like, we've hit our quota. We ain't firing anyone. We ain't burying anyone. We might not even push anyone. We just need one Asian on the roster. You know, like, I think Yoshitatsu quit. They're like, oh, okay. Who can we get? We need an Asian. Someone. That's, I think, Vince McMahon's answer. It's a sad world we live in, but that's my honest answer. Do you think am I wrong with Vince's prediction?
Indeed.
And as far as who do you push, bury, and stay at home? All right. If I imagine that we're on WWE and we get to choose this. That's what I imagine. You know, that's where I'm going. All right. So let's see. I push. All right. Well, no, because how are we going to fire? There's only one guy to fire, so I guess it's our own Fed. Right. So it's our own Fed with all three. Because you fire, you leave no options. The only one that works there is Kenta. Yeah. Poor Kenta's like, you ain't giving him any options, bitch. It's either push or be fired. All right, so if I own the company and have all four guys, if the company, I push Nakamura, I fire Tanahashi, I bury Kenta, but do it in a storyline, like you sold out, you went to America, and I leave home Okada, just because fuck you. You had your chance to go to WWE. Now fucking do what you. I love Okada. I'm sorry. Like, I know Okada's not listening, but I actually felt bad. I'm like, fuck you, Okada. Like, no, I didn't mean that. No one please tell Okada I said fuck him. But yeah, so if I would push Nakamura. I would fire Tanahashi. I would. Oh man, that's hard even saying that. I would bury Kenta because of storylines, and then tell Okada to stay home. I feel a little dirty. Do you want to add on that one, or you just want to go next?
I ain't touching that shit.
All right. Brian Ruiz says, but the main problem still stands. These WWE sheeps have bought all the problems on themselves. Don't you see how wrestling is treated like a joke in America? Oh, trust me, I see it. I remember there would be boxers, basketball players, and celebrities going to these shows. Nowadays, nobody wants to be associated with the product because of booking. Management and sheep are terrible. Ronda Rousey goes to PWG shows because she finds pro wrestling legit, unlike the bullshit for the E. These sheeps are delusional and don't know to create actual change for the company. You think chanting yes and going to the shows to boo Roman Reigns will create change? Hell no. Vince will forever laugh at these sheep because they put money in the company no matter what happens. It's a bit harsh, and I see your point. Yeah. I mean,
he's going back to something that I said. People, they go there because they love to bitch and complain. They love it. They pay their money to go vent.
Well, I don't agree with what I'm about to say 100%. But I'm going to play devil's advocate just to be like, prove another point. And I do believe this a little bit. I'm not 100% behind this. I think the problem is it's fandom. And what I mean by that is I'm a Buccaneers fan. No need to apologize. I know. I'm a Buccaneers fan. And I live in Tokyo. And during the fall, every Monday morning, 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, I stay up to watch the games. Do you think I'm happy with the product? But there's something about loyalty and fandom. And I think the problem is, though, is that how long do you get to be a fan and still? Like, right now, I'm going to be completely honest. This is the closest I've thought about stop watching WWE. I'm just like, dude, there's nothing in it for me. You know what I mean? Especially considering the New Japan podcasts are getting more and more views. It's not perfect, but I don't know. It's just, you have to give me hope. It's kind of like...
So what you're saying is that WWE is your modern day Dallas Cowboys. That's what you're saying.
a little bit. I see it as there is a fandom. Like I'm a Rays fan. I'm a Lightning fan. I'm a Bucks fan. I stopped watching the NBA. There's no New Jersey Nets. The Orlando Magic. But no, WWE is the Orlando Magic. I used to go watch the Orlando Magic. Shaq, Penny, oh my God, this shit's going down. Basketball's awesome. Got rid of him. All right. Howard, this is awesome. I don't even call myself a Magic fan anymore. Like, what the fuck? WWE is like the Orlando Magic. You want to be loyal. You want to like basketball. You want to root for them. But at the end of the day, like, I never broke as a Rays fan, and that was hard. I never broke as a Bucks fan. That's not easy. We're going through some hard times. Hard times now. I love the Tampa Bay Lightning. I love the New Jersey Devils. Please don't tell them. I love them both. I used to love the Nets. But the Orlando Magic, it's just, dude, I'm sorry, I can't be a fan anymore. I can't, like, I used to be like, I'm a Magic fan. I don't even like basketball. I'm in a search of a new team. There's no New Jersey Nets. The Orlando Magic are pretty much non-existent. But I don't know. It's fan loyalty because it does feel good. It does feel good when you have a last-place team or bad Monday Night Raws, and then it starts becoming hot again, like the Attitude Era or CM Punk's Pipe Bomb. That's kind of exciting because you feel like it's a badge of honor. Like, I've been watching this shit through the thick and thin, and it does. Like, when the Bucks won the Super Bowl, people that have watched the Bucks from day one, that felt so much more special to those fans than fans that are like, oh, I like the Bucks, you know what I mean? And I think that there is fandom of that, but here's the thing where I think I'm starting to draw the line with WWE and Orlando Magic. Not the Orlando Magic anymore. I'm not a fan. Just Let it go, let it go.
There you go, brother. There you go.
But the thing with WWE is the Bucks never once, the Rays never once, the Lightning never once, the New Jersey Devils never once said, "You're a fucking idiot for wanting for a good product. You're a fucking idiot for wanting your favorite teams." Like when the Rays really sucked. I don't know if you know this, but the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, they were not always the powerhouse they are today. When they sucked, there was a guy we got behind. It was just a fan favorite. His name was Bubble Tramble. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. And we loved him so much. And then they just cut him. And it's just like, when I called, because I had season tickets, I'm a high roller. I called and I complained. Like, I legit complained. I was like, dude, I have fucking season tickets. What the fuck are you doing? Bubble Tramble's the only fucking thing that brings me goddamn joy on this fucking team. You know, that was the conversation. That was the tone of the conversation. Not once did they say, oh, you're just a fucking idiot baseball fan. Not once. And I think that's where it's easier to continue to be a Rays fan, a Bucks fan. But when Vince McMahon goes on and be like, fuck them, what are they going to do about it? It's just like, what? You know what I mean? And that's where, like, normally I'm like, no, you got to be a loyal fan through the thick and thin. But when the owner publicly says, fuck those fans, you're just like, I'm a fucking idiot. And that's the thing about pro wrestling. And it goes back to making fun of fans. No one wants to be passionate and love a hobby and feel like an idiot. And that's what WWE is doing. And this is the closest I've ever come from not watching them.
I gotta respond to this text message I just get. I guess my partner Troy is listening. He's listening right now, and he said the Dallas Cowboy reference to WWE is one of the best. But yeah, the reason why I say that,
right.
Troy, sometimes put your comment on the comments below. But the reason why I say that is because of this simple, I guess, kind of a eerie little I guess comparison that we have with these two movies. Like, look at 2014. The Dallas Cowboys in 2014 was made a great run. Look at 2014 for WWE. They came up and won big with Daniel Bryan, you know, going to the top, you know, and then falling. The Dallas Cowboys, they went to the top and fell. You know, but over years and years and years, their fans continue to come back and root for them like none other, but they continue to suck. Suck every year. Damn it.
Yeah, but the Dallas Cowboys never tell the fucking season ticket holders or their network subscribers to say, fuck off, you don't know what the fuck you want.
I'm not going that deep. I ain't going that deep into, I ain't did all that. I'm just saying the comparison as far as the tolerance of the fans. That's what I'm saying. You know, that's the only comparison that I'm weighing is that we're so, you know, fans of us, we're so loyal to WWE, even though they continue to fuck up and continue to fuck up, they just keep not getting to put things together. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's not going together.
All right, well, let's get a couple more comments and wrap this bad boy up. I'm running out of time here. Lennox Wooderson said, "Who's the MVP of 2015 so far?" I'm thinking Ishii. Ishii. Who do you think of pro wrestling, and who's the MVP of 2015? Maybe
MVP of 2015. Ooh,
so far.
We're gonna have to break it down far. We have to do it like in different brands, and then take the ones from different brands, and then say
just a gun to your head. Gun to your head. I'm holding a gun to your head. MVP of 2015. Go.
Bobby Lashley.
Pull the trigger.
Bobby Lashley. Hands down. Nobody's fucking with Bobby Lashley.
Okay. All right. Lennox Wooderson, he says, who's the female and tag team of 2015? Tag team, Young Bucks, female, Charlotte. You got your answers? Female?
I got to go with female of 2015. You know, I'm trying to search for another direction. I would go with I gotta go with Gail Kim. I gotta give it to her again.
I love me some Gail Kim. And tag team of 2015, The Ascension. Hell to the now. Tag team of 2015 goes to
the Hardy Boys for the consistency. They have really been performing so well in my opinion, even though they have not won the tag team titles so far yet within their recent run. It's got to go to the Hardy Boys. I'm loving the matches they put on, even when they're solo and tag together. I mean, these guys, they're phenomenal, and they're still going like they're going today. It has to be given to the Hardy Boys.
All right. I am Mikey says he agrees with you. This era of WWE fandom have damn near gave up on Vince's product. They are starting to wake up and realize there are options now and true alternatives if you make the efforts. And I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of people just don't make the effort. At the same time, WWE have raped the masses, all right, and run their egos, the set storyboard in Vince's mind, and only deliver what you want. All right, let me skip. Lennox Wooderson, AJ is the true anti-diva. She doesn't do Divas or Raw. Good point. Ray, she doesn't do Divas or even Raw these days. She doesn't do Total Divas. AJ's not on Total Divas.
Look. Me and you gonna have to do, Coco. We have to do a separate show on this one. But AJ is the modern day Kim Kardashian. If you don't believe me,
all right,
look at the parallel similarities between her and Kim Kardashian.
I am very confused, but try to sum this up because I'm trying to get through as many comments as I can.
You want me to sum? Okay, look, put it like this. Look at how WWE presented her. She was the host of the WWE. How many lips has she touched? Out of every, have you ever seen a female superstar kiss as many guys as she kissed? Look at how slutty and whore she was.
Oh, you're talking about storyline-wise. Okay, I thought you meant behind the scenes.
Well, behind the scenes too as well. I mean, she lived it. AJ Lee was presented as that divish hoe. That was everybody's girl. She skipped around from this. Like, if you look at her roles that she played, oh my gosh.
Well, she's happily married to an MMA superstar now.
And that's freakish, though. But think about it. Who is Kim Kardashian happily married to?
Oh, good point. So you're even connecting more dots.
But look, though. Let's think about this. CM Punk is very outspoken, and he does, kind of bitchy shit. Kanye West is outspoken, and he does bitchy shit. So, you know what? Let's continue going on with the show.
I'm pretty bitchy, so does that mean I can get it myself an AJ Lee and Kim Kardashian?
Hey, AJ Lee, watch out.
Raymond Jameson says, how would you feel if either SummerSlam or WrestleMania had a fatal 4-way or 6-man match, Hell in a Cell, showing off the future of WWE? Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, I would enjoy it a lot. I'm not a big fan of Hell in a Cells just because they can't do anything. I'm more of a big fan of ladder matches because in today's WWE environment, you can still do great ladder matches. I think as far as the Hell in a Cell goes, in today's WWE environment, you can never have as good as it used to be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Lennox Wooderson said, who has the better bad relationship? All right. Kane and Lita, Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee, or Triple H and Stephanie? I don't know. I think Triple H and Stephanie look like a normal relationship. I mean, it started off partially in kayfabe worlds. These are obviously kayfabe relationships. Kane and Lita, that was horrible. I told a funny story about this. When Kane married Lita, my daughter was born. I was in the hospital, and I just snuck out because everyone was sleeping, and I turned on Raw. And my friend's like, not my friend, but a random father. We started bitching about the nurses. By the way, I want it for the record. In Florida, St. Pete General, worst fucking place ever to have a fucking baby. Fuck those nurses. Anyway, yeah, if you're ever in Florida and you're like, wow, I got to have a baby, and there's St. Pete General, just drive the extra 10 to 15 minutes to Tampa. Don't fucking have dude, fuck you, St. Pete General. Anyway, nothing like bitterness. My daughter's a teenager now, and I still have the bitterness in my heart. But yeah, Kane was marrying Lita, and the guy goes, oh, man, I haven't watched this since I was a little kid. And I was like, oh, you can change the channel, watch whatever you want. She's like, no, I want to see where this goes. And I told him, like, listen, I'm a pro wrestling fan, and I don't know where this Kane-Lita marriage is going, but you seem like a cool dude, and no matter where this is going, I'm going to be so embarrassed. So I'm going to give you $20 to watch whatever you want to watch. I actually was so embarrassed by Kane and Lita, I paid a stranger that I had a small conversation with $20 to change the channel. And he was like, is it that bad? I'm like, I don't want to find out. So to me, the worst storyline, worst bad relationship was Kane and Lita, because that was just fucking embarrassing.
I got to go with Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee because he once again he had a hoe. So at least Lita was stronger. He was like, "Come here, bitch, you're mine." That's how that was. It was like Popeye and Olive with Kane and Lita. It was when what's the guy? What's the bad guy name in Popeye?
Pluto.
Yeah, Pluto. He just strong armed. That's what Kane did to Lita. Yeah, it's Pluto. You're right. And he just grabbed Lita. You're mine now. And ha ha ha. That was it. But with Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee, it was a mess because you just knew what was going on, and you just couldn't take the facts out of the actual storyline. But then again, the storyline was so fucked up because she was still tonguing down everybody that she came across. He was getting the bad end of that one. So I gotta go with Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee worst couple.
All right. Franielli says Dave has a dream that one day there'll be a middle ground of understanding between pro wrestling fans and sports entertainment fans. I really do. That is my dream. I always said, like, people always ask what I want or what is the point of your show and all that. I think I want the best wrestlers that connect with the crowd to be the ones that are pushed. You know what I mean? Like, the best wrestler that connects with the crowd should be the champion. Yeah, it's a dream I have, but it doesn't seem to work out. Mikey says Ishii versus Homa, New Beginning Sendai, or Maccabi versus Ishii, Wrestle Kingdom 9. Which match War of JR would you call? Oh my god, you ready for some hate mail? Here it comes. I don't really enjoy JR. Yep. I feel the boos. I wish there was a sound effect. Boo!
I am the voice for the masses on this one. Did you just diss JR?
No, I'm just not a fan. Like, people are like, JR's the greatest human being ever, and I'm like, all right. Like, it's one of those things. It's one of those things that, like, like there's opinions I have that I know isn't popular, but like I always kind of like keep them what I call the crazy hidden, because like I'm like, oh, because there's some asshole right now that spent like 5 hours listening to us. He's like, what, you didn't like JR? Thumbs down, unsubscribed. So like some of the craziest things that I think I'm in the minority of.
I'm not gonna stand for this.
I don't like JR and I don't like Undertaker.
What? So you don't like my God? This son of a bitch is crazy. You don't like none of that?
The only time I enjoyed JR was A, when he was putting over New Japan, because that was awesome, thank you, and B, when he was with Paul Heyman. When it was JR and Paul Heyman, I thought that was an amazing team. JR with anyone else, I was just like, not for me.
You didn't like the Slobber Knocker chance? Are you serious? JR is he's a great storyteller, man.
But as far as me, Maccabi versus Ishii, because if JR was calling it a slobber knocker and went all crazy, he would a bigger audience would see how great that match was. Lennox Wooderson says the next NXT Sean is talking about was a horrible game show. That's why it didn't work. NXT now is actually a wrestling program, and they do the best wrestling far better than WWE. They booked their first couple of shows outside Florida, and they were sold out already. See, that's good. He also goes on, the Performance Center isn't NXT. The show is at Full Sail. It's near the Performance Center. Yeah, good point. I should have mentioned that. I was like, don't be that YouTuber. Don't be that. All right, we got some spam comments, dude. They put you in spam. You are. This is what I'm talking about, Google. The host or the co-host that came into the show is in the spam folder.
Yeah, right.
I am Mikey. Huge loss for TNA Impact. Major win for Pro Wrest if Samoa Joe is involved in Pro Wrest. I agree with that. The four horsewomen would be a good idea. It would have to be done in TNA so they could bring back the tag titles, unless WWE creates a Divas tag that TNA did the first ever all women's faction. Beautiful people. That's not true, but. I don't want to correct you on air. Like, I'm so used to.
No. I went there. I mean, the actual first, just like far as within the mainstream level.
Well,
like, okay,
maybe on America's big screen, but there's been women factions before. They had the biggest women faction out there on the top promotions. Oh, so you saved yourself with that last sentence. Maybe I shouldn't correct you in mid-sentence.
Exactly. See,
right.
Okay, what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about the comment I made out. I was responding to the four women horsemen, four horsemen women, whatever that you made earlier in the show about who would be great
So
for
you
that.
think they would have to add tag titles to get that over?
Oh yes.
All right.
And because TNA they did it very well. And I like what they did with the Beautiful People. They made it more meaningful to be a part of this new action of females. Well, it wasn't new, but as the continuing story of the Beautiful People, they gave them another call. They went and got some tag team titles. They had the Knockouts Championship title, and so everybody on the team down there had gold. If they didn't, they were a good mouthpiece. No pun intended. They were a good mouthpiece on the team.
I am Mikey says, do you think now is the time more than ever for TNA Impact to drop all egos and allow talent more freedom to work multiple promotions? Yes, yes, and yes. I always thought it was that. I hope that because number one has such a stranglehold on everyone, that the number twos have to drop the ego and start working with everybody. All right, I'm going to refresh. We're going to look for comments, and I think we're going to call it a day. Boop, boop. Why am I talking? Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I refreshed the page, and I was like, why are you repeating the same thing? Why am I talking? I'm an idiot. All right. Stairway to Zeppelin, Hall of Famer, one of the original YouTube commenters, giving you a thumbs up. Wrestle Kingdom 10, booked like Vengeance 2001, 4 wrestlers and 3 matches. To finally give Okada the big win, Nakamura is champ going in. All right, so he's talking about, yeah. The thing is, what makes me so upset about Okada losing at Wrestle Kingdom 9 is that Nakamura needs to be in the main event at Wrestle Kingdom 10. He's just so over. AJ versus Nakamura. Oh, so he has a plan to make this happen. AJ versus Nakamura. Bullet Club tries to help AJ with some shenanigans. Nakamura has really hard time, but manages to win. That protects Nakamura a little for the final and for a future story. 2, Tanahashi versus Okada. Okada gets his revenge win over Tanahashi. I like where this is going, Zeppelin. After the match, Tanahashi offers Okada his hand and then raises Okada's hand. All right. Final match, Nakamura versus Okada. A very, very close match that, oh my God, I would pay all the money to see. Just wins and finally get his shining moment. Stairway to Zeppelin. Can we have a slow clap? Stairway to Zeppelin just solved all of New Japan's problems. Thank you.
They need to hire him.
Yeah. Lennox Wooderson says, would Ziggler be a better fit for the Bullet Club than Kenny Omega? Kenny Omega, I love Kenny Omega, but he's fucking absolutely garbage in fucking Bullet Club. Anyone. Dude, a bag of shit. Like, if I have to go to the bathroom, if I pissed in it, I got a little kid's bucket here. All right? If I pissed in this bucket, shit in it, and then dumped it on my head, and then gave the bucket a Bullet Club shirt and said he's the newest member of Bullet Club, he would still be better than what Kenny Omega's doing.
That got to be the wildest.
Fucking dude, no, it's like Kenny Omega came in and he was one of the best wrestlers out there. And then they're like, oh, do facial expressions and act like Scott Hall. And he also, like, someone said, do facial expressions. So now he does facial expressions where it don't even make sense, not to the camera, not to the live audience. He's just going around making facial expressions. 2, he hasn't had a good match since he put on the fucking Bullet Club shirt. And fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck you, Kenny Omega. We had so much fucking hope.
Fuck you, Kenny Omega. I don't even
fucking
know.
Bag of shit. Yeah. Lennox Wooderson, NXT. We did this, so it's out of order now. Lennox Wooderson answers the question: fire Tanahashi, push Okada, bury Nakamura. He can bounce back. All right, good point. Good point. Nakamura is the man. Wrestling fans who boo the WWE aren't WWE fans. They're wrestling fans. Almost all the casual fans are gone because it sucks. The network is going to be held together by the glue of the wrestling fans. I think WWE is in trouble, but I think they're so good at spinning shit, they don't believe they're in trouble. You know what I mean? I think they like, oh no, we're not in trouble, we're not in trouble, we're not in trouble. And I think it's one of those, WWE eventually will become a better product with Triple H in charge, or it will be the longest, slowest death ever because they're a monopoly and It's, do big businesses go out of business? Do big businesses fail? Yes. But it's slow and painful. Just ask MySpace. But yeah,
You
the
just go there. You
WWE
just
has
went
to
there.
improve. What's that?
You just went there. You just went there with the MySpace one. Damn.
Yeah, WWE is, well, I don't know. WWE can be saved, but it's just they're stubborn, So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, MySpace sold out. When they sold out. It's like with WCW. It wasn't the fact that WCW was destroyed or brought down. It was Ted Turner. Hell, he told Eric to come up with the damn money, and because Ted didn't give two shits about wrestling. He was 10 times ahead of. And when you look at WCW, they already had that damn network. They was already a fucking network. They were owned by a damn cable company and stuff. So, these are companies that didn't really get taken down. They took themselves down.
Holy crap! Someone said we've been doing this for 3 hours. I kid you not. Know what I said when I came onto the show? I'm just going to do it real quick. I'm going to answer these questions and be out of here.
I apologize.
Nah, no worries. No, dude, because my goal is I want to do like 5 shows a day, make them shorter, because, on YouTube, people like that better. But then once I start talking, I never shut up. That's what happens when you have a radio guy on YouTube. Last question from YouTube, and then we're going to hit up Twitter. Jeff Jarrett is back making rounds, hyping the next stages of GFW developmental after Wrestle Kingdom 9 success. Of the plan, after a UK interview, is making GFW a standalone promotion, announcements around WrestleMania. And then this week, to come to say, so in the next 4 to 6 weeks, the announcement will be coming, focused on talent, distributors, sponsorship, venues, legal. Okay, so yeah. Global Force Wrestling, I think they have a shot. The problem with Jeff Jarrett and Global Force Wrestling is wrestling fans are like, if you're not going to take out the WWE, you're a fucking failure. And no, there's small wrestling promotions that make profit and make a living that you never heard of. I think a lot of times people are like, if you're not going to take out WWE, it's worthless. I think Global Force can be successful. Will they ever take out WWE? I don't think so. But I think the NWA thing, hopefully... Because there was talks about doing Triple Mania the way they did Wrestle Kingdom 9, and hopefully they could keep doing Wrestle Kingdom. But yeah, I'm rooting for Jeff Jarrett. I really am. All right, let's answer at KEV at Kev ENOCH on Twitter says women factions on American TV. You guys probably blacked out. Pretty Mean Sisters from your memory. Oh, good point. I'm gonna give you a favorite for you. There you go. Yeah, I don't have the best memory in the world. I apologize. 3 hours strong. That is effing.
We're pretty mean. Okay.
All right. So I have to go eat and breathe and walk away from the computer. So let's wrap this up. Thank you for jumping in late. I appreciate it. You're more than welcome to jump in anytime you want. But now, tell the Internet Infantry what they can do for you.
So what you guys can do, you can go to Twitter right now, right this instant, type in at T-Shawn, that's TISHAUN, THE, which is the, and the numeral 1, and you can follow me. You can go to YouTube, Goody Nation Entertainment, that's GOODYNATIONENT, subscribe. Facebook, T-Shawn the One on Facebook, or just T-Shawn Jason. However you want to put it down, follow me. I'm pretty sure my guy will put it in the description maybe. That's pretty much about it. Everybody have some fun. Keep watching wrestling, sports, all of that. Enjoy yourself.
And if you watched all 3 hours of this, give yourself a Barry Horowitz. Maybe we'll have to do some contest for the longer shows. Because if you're a true warrior, started from part 1 to now, well, it's not in parts. It's a 3-hour show, and it's not even in parts. Give yourself a Barry Horowitz. Thank goodness this is an audio show, because you can just play it in the background. But thank you very much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to both of us. We try to do at least 1 show a day here. Sometimes we get a lot of views, sometimes not so much, but hey, it's what I do. Also, check out Kocosports.net. We are trying to make the blog and this place your #1 spot. We're going to try to improve it every day. And for those asking to be on the staff and all that, sure, just realize there's not much money in it. A lot of times we get young people saying, I want to host a YouTube show with you. Pay me $8 trillion. And I'm like, yeah, you don't have experience with YouTube.
Fucking damn.
No, well, what we have is we get a lot of people that want to be co-hosts, but then, like, if I say, well, have you done a show? Have you have someone to vouch for you? They get pissed and then never watch the show again. And then, like, 10 days later, like, can I host now? So we've been having that problem. But, yeah, we and also this site, we're looking for staff. But be cool, and I talked about it earlier in the show. All right, so...
Major news.
all right.
Everybody that is on Facebook, please go ahead and add yourself to the group, Wrestling Talk Media, which is the WTM, which is our actual group, which we do Wrestle Talk Media. So do type in Wrestle Talk Media on Facebook and add yourself to the group. I will let you on in there. And that's pretty much. Big shout out to American Alucard. Big shout out to Andrew Corville, and PWR as well, and that's pretty much it.
All right, cool. Yeah, check it out. Maybe I'll have to check it out. I didn't even know that existed. I'm a jerk. I'm like, wow, that's a nice product. Like, nothing like having your co-host pitch something, but like, I didn't know that existed. Sounds interesting. All right, so please like, comment, subscribe. Check out Kocosports.net. The co-hosts come on here out of just pure love for pro wrestling, so please go support them too. All right, with that, I am over. Boom, 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 boom.